If you're a business owner, you don't need us to tell you running a business is tough. Don't let QuickBooks and spreadsheets slow you down anymore. Now is the time to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle, the world's #1 cloud business system. NetSuite gives you the visibility and control over your financials, HR, inventory, e-commerce, and more. Join the over 21,000 companies using NetSuite right now. Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/C-suite. netsuite.com/C-suite.
Welcome to the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and as always, I'm here with the homie Kevin.
Hey everybody, hopefully everyone's doing pretty good. I know personally I am, everything's going good. How about you, buddy? How's everything been lately?
My work week has been shitty, but now I'm here podcasting, so everything's alright.
Amen to that. My work week has been quite similar, a lot of lackluster there. But as I also conversed with you before, I enrolled in school again. Hooray! Yeah. So, homies, if you could please send me some good vibes and good luck and don't suck at this, Kevin, then I'd greatly appreciate that.
It is something that's really inspiring because never in my life did I think that we'd see a real like Billy Madison, but yet here we are. So Kevin just working his way up from kindergarten on up again because he needs that high school diploma. So Kevin, I'm proud of you, buddy. And
does this mean I have to get with a teacher? That's going to be controversial now. This isn't the 90s no more.
It's only controversial. It's not controversial if you're in your 20s. It's controversial if, No,
you're right. The controversial part is me reenacting a movie that Adam Sandler did.
He had some good shit back in the day.
I am going to college, by the way, people. Let's not confuse this. Yeah, finishing my last few credits up, getting that supposed piece of paper that makes things great or whatever they say it is.
Isn't that a paycheck?
Also, yes. Shoot, I've been getting those. Yeah. But whatever.
All right, guys. So tonight we're talking about Doctor Strange, the 2016 hit.
We're moving up the list quite fast.
We are. Yeah. That only means, guys, that Infinity War is getting closer and closer. So,
amen.
A motherfucking man. Yeah. So we are on the road to Infinity War, and it's getting exciting. Mm-hmm. Of course, we had the new trailer. I finally made Kevin watch it.
You son of a bitch. Like, he didn't make me watch it, guys. The way it happened, he's talking about it, he's talking it up, but he's talking up in all the right ways for me personally. He's saying the shit that's like, no, it doesn't give anything new away. It doesn't do this, doesn't do that. It's a good trailer. And it's one of my favorites because, and that right there is what sold me. Like, you son of a bitch. You can't tell me this and me expect to not watch it afterwards. So I'd spend a few minutes watching it, and it didn't give much away. It gave away a little bit more, but it's still. I've only seen the first trailer twice, and I've seen the second trailer now once. And I don't want to watch no more shit. I don't want to read no more. Oh, guess what Easter eggs we missed in the trailer? Or Iron Man gave away this great big fat hint on Facebook bullshit. Don't send it to me.
Iron Man gave away what now?
No, I just made that one up.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I was kind of being facetious.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that this was just a really well done trailer, though. Just because Marvel and most comic book movies in general are just really bad about giving away shit in their movies. But it just really goes to show that Marvel is, one, confident in this movie, and two, they really do want to keep things on the wraps as far as like the spoilers and all that. I mean, because essentially, like, I actually watched a trailer the other day. It was something that a fan did, and they took the first and second trailer and they spliced them together to make it like one trailer, pretty seamlessly, like intercutting it so that it would make cohesive sense as a trailer. Yeah. Okay. And it was really good, and it just really also showed that they're really not revealing. Like, if I describe scenes from the first trailer, you wouldn't know if I'm talking about the first or second trailer, and I mean that in all the good ways, just because they're doing a really good job of not spoiling themselves or not spoiling us with,
However, they do spoil a few things if you watch it like we do, where we watch a 2-minute trailer and make it last 7 minutes because we pause and say, wait a minute, wait, what's that?
But if we're referring to the Black Order, they were in the first trailer too, so there's still no spoiler there.
They were. Yeah. But I digress.
Yep. All right, guys, but yeah, we are talking about Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange, he is in Infinity War. Hopefully he doesn't die. There has not been I don't think that Doctor Strange 2 has been greenlit yet, so
I don't think he dies. No, I'm sure he's one of the safer names. I'm going to give it to him.
Well,
No, I don't know. What are we doing?
Okay,
we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. But yeah, guys. So Doctor Strange, though, I think that overall most people really truly enjoyed this movie. I know when we saw it in theaters, I certainly did.
Yeah. I know we did. The guy who screamed out Luke Cage at the end certainly did. Yeah,
those guy who screamed out Luke Cage.
Yeah, you remember him?
Nope.
Okay, the cutscene happened, which we're not talking about yet, obviously, because we'd be way jumping the gun. But yeah, the cutscene was happening, and someone in the back was just like, Luke Cage, and like the 20 people remaining who are honestly the only smart people left, because everybody should know not to walk out of a Marvel movie before the end of everything, But yeah, he screamed it out, and all of us were like, "Oh, that's funny. Of course it's not, but it's funny." You remember that?
Nope.
Okay, well, there you go. But yeah, no, I agree. We had a good time watching it in theaters.
Yeah. So after seeing this movie for a second time, Kevin, what are your overall vague thoughts on the movie?
Okay, so as I was slightly describing to you earlier, now I have freedom to say everything I wanted to say. I watched it this time with a podcaster's mentality, which is a whole new lens for us, right? Because we're watching it. No, stop.
It's like a magic place for me and you. No one to tell us no or where to go.
No, stop it. No. You can't do this. All right, I gotta think of a way to get you back now. But no, I was sitting there rewatching a few scenes just to try to find not something to poke at or say, oh, they did this shit weird, but really just to find more and more to talk about. But no, overall, I still enjoyed the movie thoroughly, dude. Like, second time watching through, it was kind of like, you know what? There's a lot of things that they did here that I want to give applause to. They did some good shit. They did. And you're right, though. Earlier, guys, last week, as we signed off and he and I were closing up shop here, we were talking and joking about, so do you even remember the villain's name? And I'm sitting there in silence for a good 10 seconds like, shut up. Mordo, shut up. And it's like, well, no, that's not the villain, Kevin. Come on. Not for this movie. But it was still like a fun experience overall, rewatching the movie. Yeah. I mean, it was fun, honestly. Right. Yeah.
I gotta say, one thing about this whole Road to Infinity War thing that we've been doing, reviewing all the past MCU movies, is that, like, as a whole, I've thoroughly enjoyed most of these movies. Like, not talking to you, Iron Man 3.
Nope.
But, like, yeah, I've enjoyed most of these movies, like, with the exception of Iron Man 3. I really can't think of one that I didn't, like, enjoy. I never regretted rewatching one of these yet.
No, I definitely haven't regretted watching another one again.
I was never like, this is a waste of my time. But no, yeah, I do agree though. Doctor Strange is still a really fun movie, still really good. And I've noticed something about this, and I'm going to go ahead and lead with this off the bat here.
Sure. What's up?
Marvel's formula goes deeper than just the storyboard. Yeah.
Ooh, I like this. This could be a really great layered conversation tonight. Start us off some more.
So as I was taking these notes here on the movie, I realized, like, mid-sentence for one of these notes that, holy shit, I've cracked their code. Like, I thought about it because I was writing down notes like, man, Benedict Cumberbatch, this guy's amazing. He's really great at it. Super charismatic. Like, he's full of confidence and charisma, just like Robert Downey Jr., just like Chris Pratt, just like every other lead man.
Okay.
It was
okay. Wait. What about Chris Evans though? Because he played a totally different type. He was easy to get behind, but not like the charismatic ladies' man.
But that's because that's not who Steve Rogers is.
True.
If he did, then I'd be like, what the hell is this?
Right. At that point, it would have been like, okay, now we're just really watching the same movie with different names.
Right.
Yeah. And abilities.
Right. Oh, and also Paul Rudd, if I'd add him to the list.
Oh, no, Paul Rudd definitely was on my mind for that, yeah. Huh.
Yeah, it was interesting to think about because... And also, as I continued writing the notes about the movies, I realized that another thing that I always write down is that, man, this movie really does have amazing visuals. God damn it.
This movie in particular had, like, some of the most amazing visuals. Like, it's on par, personally, for me, with a lot of the stuff that Star Wars has tried to do, Yeah. Like, if you ask me some of the movies with the best visuals, Star Wars would be up there, of course, because you got to give them something. And then this would definitely be up there too, just because of the weird abstract stuff that they were doing on screen.
Like I give them credit for uniqueness,
exactly,
because like you have to think outside the box to create like a Doctor Strange movie. Because like if you read like especially any of the old Doctor Strange stuff, like when he's traveling through dimensions or like through different time shifts or anything like that, then everything in the background of those comic panels look really LSD. It looks like he's on some type of nootropic or psychedelic.
Yeah,
and it's kind of funny because they actually even cracks a joke about that.
Yeah.
In the movie. But yeah, that's like what the comic panels look like. Trying to show us what the hell Doctor Strange is doing and where he's at in these weird dimensions and whatnot. But yeah, so I think it was really crucial to the movie that they, had really great visuals for this.
Expanded the type of visuals that they use at least.
Right.
Which I think honestly they successfully did because especially in theaters when this first came out, everyone was like, whoa, oh my gosh, whenever everything was happening, he's traveling through shit. Yeah, it was cool.
I agree. I think that people were putting a little too much stock into it, where they were comparing it to like Inception. Like, slow down, people.
It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but no, Doctor Strange does have some really unique visuals, and they have a really cool way of showing the magic and also explaining the magic.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's get started here. Doctor Strange was directed by Scott Derrickson. I actually did not look him up, so I'm not sure what else he's done in the past.
Well, give me a second, my friend. That's why I have my computer here. Oh wow, okay, that's a first. When you type in your password 100 times and your 101st time you mess it up. Alright, Scott Derrickson. Let's see what the man's done. He's done Doctor Strange, Sinister, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, Deliver Us from Evil, The Day the Earth Stood Still. He's done a few scary movies. Sinister 2, makes sense.
Is that Hellraiser?
That's another Hellraiser. Hellraiser Inferno. So not the Hellraiser. Yeah. Devil's Knot. Yeah, he's done a lot of
horror type stuff.
Yeah. Urban Legends, Final Cut. Land of Plenty, Dracula 2000, Poltergeist. Okay, yeah, he's done mostly horror movies. Yeah.
That's really interesting that he tackles this, but it worked out well overall, I think.
Yeah, no, it really did.
Let's see here. So, one of the very first things we get here is Caecilius and his henchmen are attacking the...
I made sure to write his name down. And also how to pronounce his name. Like, I wrote it out phonetically.
Oh, wait. Phonetically.
Phonetically. That's what I said. What'd you say? But yeah, Caecilius.
Yeah, Caecilius and his henchmen, they attack like the sanctuary, and they behead some guy. That's what I have written down here. They behead some guy.
Yep.
And they take pages from this book, or he takes a page from this book, and then he gets chased off by the Ancient One. Yeah, the mysterious Ancient One, and
or the Ancient One's daughter.
I mean,
just in comparison, but that's a note we'll talk about in detail here.
Oh yeah,
right.
So, it's funny because like in the theater and also for this scene here, I thought that okay, so we just saw the villain narrowly escape, and I thought that we were going to cut to Stephen Strange, but no, we cut outside. And there's like a chase almost, and the Ancient One catches up with the Caecilius and his henchmen, And there's a little bit of a fight scene here, and right off the bat, they're showing us some of the cool visuals that they have for the movie here. And I thought that, still, even on TV, it looked really good because this is the second time I've seen the movie. The only other time I've seen it was in theater.
Yeah.
And of course, in theater, in that, IMAX-like theater, it looked really good.
Actually, this is my third time. I remember I watched this with some friends in Idaho. So, yeah, never mind. Number 3. I forgot about that second time. No offense, guys.
But I thought it was really cool, like reality warping fight scene.
Oh yeah,
it reminds me it doesn't remind me of Ant-Man, but it does in the sense of how they had to get really creative and unique to make this thing work properly.
Like martial artists have to change their game when you throw in weird shit like size changing and reality changing. Oh, we're fighting on the side of windows now. Yeah. So it's fun to watch.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, it's super fun to watch because I can only imagine, like, for creating this movie, being one of the people that has to construct how a magic fight scene looks on this kind of scale. Because with all due respect, like, this isn't Harry Potter.
No, they insult Harry Potter magic with how good they are at magic in this.
I mean,
like, Harry Potter's world don't know shit. Okay, I know I pissed some people off. I'm so sorry.
Oh, shit.
I know, right?
Damn.
There are going to be some kids outside stabbing me with wands.
Yeah. I want everyone to know that was Kevin. That was not
That was me.
But no, it was a super cool fight scene here. It was a little short-lived. I mean, it was perfect. Right. It was perfectly linked. It was just enough to whet our appetites.
Exactly.
For things to come.
And for more magics.
Yeah, and for very more interesting, cool magic. So yeah, the next thing we get here is "You Are Shining Star" is playing. Yeah. And then Chuck Panzoni, which apparently the song that Chuck was playing came out in '77, not '78.
I know, right?
Yep.
Hey, December still counts, man.
He's doing like this music trivia and stuff while doing like surely complicated surgery.
Right. Yeah.
But
which they only needed him for like 2 minutes for, but yeah.
Well, I guess that's all we saw in that surgery. Because
there
were 2 surgeries. One was his own, and then because we see him in that surgery, we don't know how long, if he came back from a break, or we don't know how long that person had been.
Oh, true. Yeah. We saw 2 minutes of that part,
right,
or even a minute. But either way,
and then after that, he immediately performs brain surgery on another doctor's patient. The other doctor's ready to pull the plug, but not Stephen Strange. This man is. What family has the name Strange?
I have no idea. Well, obviously he has an estranged cousin named Ugo somewhere hanging around causing some shit. Yeah.
I guess what person has the last name Doom? But hey.
Also, yes. Yeah.
There we are.
People exist, man. What person has the last name Butt?
Well, yep.
Actually, I want to make a quick joke at this point, too. A different joke. Guys, gals, if you choose to watch this movie after we talk about it, which I don't know what your practices are in this case, but go back and watch this whole introduction medical scene showing off Doctor Strange's medical prowess here, and do me a favor and watch it with your eyes closed. That doesn't make sense. Listen to the scene with your eyes closed, okay? And then comment back to us how much he sounded just like Dr. House. Like how much that scene reminds you of another extended episode or something of the old television series House MD with Hugh Laurie. I loved that show. Yeah. So seeing this was kind of like oh man, I missed that show. I don't need another season of it, but it was a good show.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah. So he removes some piece of shard of metal.
It was a bullet.
Was it a bullet?
It was a full bullet.
It wasn't a full bullet.
Yeah, no, it was a full bullet. Because the whole point of it was the bullet was in his head, but it was a perfect bullet. It wasn't.
I thought it was a frag, because even when he pulled it out, it was too small to be a full bullet. It was like just a little sliver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either way, it was something that wasn't damaged. Was the point they were making?
Yeah, because it was something that was so small and so hard to get, but Doctor Strange and his steady hands was able to get in there and then retrieve this tiny little fragment thing
while insulting another doctor. The same.
All the same. Doctor, cover your watch.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And so, what I have written down here immediately is that I call him BC for short because Benedict Cumberbatch is a mouthful.
It really is. It's a very British name, a very cool one. But Benedict,
yeah, he's extremely charming and charismatic, and that's when I have the end here immediately written. Also, like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Pratt, Paul Rudd, etc.
Yeah.
But no, he's.
Which is very true.
Yeah, he's extremely charming and very charismatic, and it really does help fill this role here. It's interesting though because at least to my knowledge, like there's not a whole lot of material out there, at least not a lot of current material or somewhat current material that depicts Doctor Strange and his pre-magical phase. There's not a whole lot, at least that I've seen, where Doctor Strange, isn't already Doctor Strange.
Right. And maybe certain things have like flashbacks or some weird things like that, sure. But that's not enough to go off of to guide this scene more.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I think they did a good job.
Oh, they did a really good job.
Yeah. I mean,
it really is like you really have to go back to the 70s to really see like that Doctor Strange origin.
And then you're getting a whole new outfit, like a real high collar then. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, the collar, his whole cloak was a lot like Spawn's cape in the sense that it really changed from panel to panel.
Yeah.
But let's see here. So, moving on here. What was that?
All right, which scene are you going to next?
Actually, next, I was just going to fast forward here to that ridiculous ass Lamborghini. What'd you have?
Oh, no, perfect. Yeah. That lines in next really well with what I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he's driving a ridiculous ass Lamborghini heading towards a meeting, and we get an Iron Man 2 reference.
That was what I was about to say. Yep. Yeah. Like the Air Force colonel was injured in the spine from some experimental
armor.
Yeah. And I had to pause the movie and write that down. Like, I know that's a Justin Hammer reference. Yeah, gummit.
That it is. If you guys recall in Iron Man 2, at the very beginning, when Iron Man is subpoenaed, he's called to trial because the U.S. government wants him to basically give up the Iron Man to the military. And Iron Man's like, no. And Justin Hammer is there as well. And in that time, Tony Stark shows some footage of Justin Hammer's failed experiments with some armors, and there's a guy who's in a giant suit, and this suit completely spins around, does a 180 at the torso, and then Justin Hammer immediately replies, "I would like everyone to know that man is still alive." And so this does give us
we need more Justin Hammer, man. Not for his tech, but for his personality.
Yes.
I love it. I gotta go back and watch that scene again. Yes. Man. That's one of the best scenes of that movie.
It is. Like, all right. Justin Hammer has some good shit in that movie. But what's interesting about that is that does give us like a time frame as to when this movie takes place.
Right. Which is good because Strange needed to exist well before Ultron or Avengers 2.
Agreed. That does, at least in my opinion, create some continuity errors. But
a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're good because it's like, okay, we're going to talk about it now. Where the hell was Doctor Strange or the Ancient Ones for any of this shit? I understand that at one point the Ancient One says, the Avengers protect us from the physical realm, we protect on the astral realm or whatever. But if your physical realm is destroyed, as was almost the case in Doctor Strange, then surely you guys are gone too. So I guess it's like when these world-ending events were happening.
Oh, I just have another problem. Yeah. Okay, so where was the monastery where Doctor Strange arrived to become, a master supreme, sorcerer and whatnot? Where was that?
Kamartaj and Kathmandu.
Okay. Now, where is that country in comparison to the place where Avengers 2 took place? The place that Ultron said, let's put this up in the sky like a giant meteor. Yeah.
Sokovia, that was someplace in Eastern Europe. And this was like in India, where Doctor Strange is.
I mean, they're closer together than some other parts of the world, Not as close as I would imagine. But still, that's like, hey, so there's some weird shit going on in East Europe. Should we get involved with that? Nah, that's physical shit.
Right.
Yeah, there's no magic involved in that. We can't do nothing. Surely we could do something. Nah, we can't do nothing. We're fine. I'm ancient. But whatever.
Yeah, and I wish
that's a great point you bring up.
Yeah, I just wish they would have done something more to kind of explain that away. You know, kind of like how in Ant-Man, even Hank Pym talks about why he never worked with Starks, or why he doesn't want to talk to the Avengers. You know, because he holds a grudge against the Starks. You know, that was a problem that they needed to address in that movie, and they did. Yeah. I kind of wish they would at least taken a scene or two to address it here.
Right. Yeah, but more than one line of
dialogue. More than just a throwaway where the Avengers protect the physical realm. What'd you do before the Avengers?
I know, right? Yeah.
And like, they never, save the world easily. It's always a struggle. Like, it could go either way.
Exactly. Like, Iron Man had to put himself through psychological trauma to stop it the first time, people. Come on.
Right. Thousands of people surely died with Sokovia.
You could have prevented this, Ancient One. This is on you.
This is on you.
Kind of. Now it is, because we notice it. But,
yeah. But no, so back to the movie here. He's riding around in that badass Lamborghini. At least I'm pretty sure that was a Lamborghini. Didn't get a good look at it.
I don't remember. Yep. Sure.
And then he crashes tremendously. Now, that driving of his was something else. So he's on like a narrow path that's extremely wavy on like the side of a cliff. Okay?
And it was raining.
And he's weaving in and out of lanes. And this is just a narrow two lane road that he's on. And he's just weaving in and out. And I'm like, I mean, obviously, this man, as arrogant as he is, has probably done this several times.
Right. I mean, the driving was reflective of his personality.
It really was.
He thought he was invincible.
Right.
Yeah. With his cool ass watch drawer where all the watches are like permanently spinning. Who buys this? Who made your watch canister, sir? Watch canister. I said that.
Watch canister.
I said that. I meant it.
Yep. And then he immediately wipes out. Spins horribly out of control, goes kerosening off the cliff, tumbles maybe over half a dozen times, and he, long story short, he gets fucked up.
Yeah.
Not the cool drinking sense, but in the sense of like physically. Yeah.
The cool drinking sense. I'm at this point, what I wrote down, I was really impressed with the pacing. I forgot the pacing was that strong in this movie.
They moved really quick here for this part.
It only took 12 minutes for us to go from the beginning with Caecilius and his badass crew to the wreck off the mountainside.
Right.
And it's like, oh, we're not wasting no daggum time.
Yeah, it did not take a lot of time at all to get here.
Which, again, supports the statement we were talking about earlier regarding there's not a lot of material for them to go off of for pre-Magic Stephen Strange.
Right.
So... cool. Okay. Yep. And then it was after this where the pace stopped running so much and began kind of jogging appropriately.
Yeah. I would go with that too.
Yeah. Some sprints in between.
Right.
I
don't want to jump ahead too much here, but
of course not.
Just really, I guess just really brief, Kevin. Tell me, at what point in this movie would you say that he became the Doctor Strange? Was it when he put the cloak on, or was it when he decided to fight Caecilius?
Nope, it was well before then.
Really?
Yep. Is what I would say. And I have notes supporting that idea on my part, and we'll talk about that in detail too.
Okay. So moving on here, he does get extremely jacked up in this car wreck that he miraculously survives.
Yeah, like your complaint is your hands, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not lucky. You're kind of dumb for driving that way, but. You're kind of lucky at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, you really are. I mean, you can still walk.
Yeah. Your head could have been caved in.
Right. Yeah.
The shape of a bowl.
You don't have any head trauma. I mean, the whole thing's considered. You came up really good. I mean, they could have taken your hands off, but no, they saved those hands.
Yeah.
But no.
He's just no hands.
No hands.
His new superhero name? No Hands Strange.
Strange, no hands. But no, he gets 11 stainless steel pins in the bones of his hands. There's multiple torn ligaments, severe nerve damage to both hands.
Wait. Back up. 11?
Yep.
11, like in each hand? So 22 total?
They just, she, as in Rachel McAdams.
Okay. I'm hoping Christine. That is...
Yeah, she just said 11 stainless steel pens. So...
it's an odd number.
It makes sense because it's not like both hands got broken evenly.
Okay. That's a smart point you're bringing up, because at that point it's like, so what? One hand decided to get 6. Yeah. The pinky gets 2, you know. I don't know, but that's an intelligent point you bring up. Thank you. Yeah. Cool. I'm satisfied.
Yeah. So next up. So at this point, we really get he's still extremely arrogant.
Oh yeah.
You know, like
Rick hasn't changed nothing yet.
He hasn't been humbled yet, but now he's just angry. He's desperate and he's lost.
Yeah. And he's going broke.
Yeah, he's going broke, doing everything he can to get these hands fixed. At this point, we really get to see a little bit more of Christine Palmer being played by Rachel McAdams.
Yep.
At this point, I already have written down here, she really is a great actress. But man, so far this is just a really cliche kind of boring role that she's in.
Oh yeah, no, like their relationship, the most fun about it was like the dialogue between them, and that's it. Like her character just at this point was...
I mean, she was really one-dimensional almost.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like you knew her purpose there was romance interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was to be the one person who cares about him and, you know, who be there for him and all that good stuff.
She doesn't pass that the Bechdel test we've been talking about. Did I say? Damn it! I always forget that. I just need to make a note. Give me a second. It is Bechdel test, right?
Could be.
Okay, damn it. I'm about to Google search this. Look at the first thing Google said. Like, did you mean bitch test?
The bitch test?
Obviously, I did not spell that right.
Obviously not. We're going to move on here while Kevin does something that's completely unrelated to this podcast.
It kind of is, damn it. Don't you judge me.
While he's in physical therapy, he's still being a dickhead. You know, he's saying basically that everything he's doing is hopeless. Like, this isn't going to fix him. It's going to be pointless. He's not making any progress. And he says to his physical therapist, like, has any one of your clients ever fully recovered? Anyone? And his physical therapist is like, well, yeah, actually there was one guy. He had basically the guy he was talking about was paralyzed from the waist down. You know, he came in, did some physical therapy, and then he stopped coming one day. And then he saw him later on, passed him walking down the street. Dr. Strange said, wait, he was walking? And the guy said, yeah, he made a full recovery. And it was like, all right, you need to give me the file on that guy.
Right. First, he called him out saying, nah, you're making it up. That you're full of it. But,
And so this is, I thought this was a really good scene. I mean, one thing, it is, you know, just kind of exposition, you know, filling in the gaps to get to the next plot beat.
Right.
But this was a really good scene still because it really showed the state that Strange was in.
It was a good transition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really showed like just the desperation, because, you know, when some people get, you know, in really bad shape, you know, whether it be physically or emotionally, mentally, or whatever kind of way, they tend to like lash out and can be a little bit more prickish than usual. And that really happens here with Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And let's see here. Oh yeah, so he goes and he actually finds this paralyzed, this formerly paralyzed man playing basketball. Because he gets the foul on him,
as if to just kind of rub the point further home.
Yeah.
Look what I can do! Right. Jump shot.
He's like, no. The funny thing is, I had a terrible jump shot before my injury.
That would be the case. Yeah, that would obviously. Yeah.
But yeah, he gets the file on this man from the physical therapist, and he goes and tracks him down, and you know he sees the man. He's like, you can see it on Strange's face. Like, he can't believe that this guy is actually doing well. Like, he's walking and he's like perfectly fine, you know?
Yeah.
And Strange is like, this can't be possible. You had a C, blah, 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 neck contusion, torn.
Right. Medical speech.
Yeah, medical speech. And this guy immediately recognizes Doctor Strange as one of the doctors that blew him off, that didn't want to work on him. And he makes a good point. The guy says, yeah, you didn't want to see me because, you know, you didn't want a loss. and that's a constant theme actually throughout this movie. But I thought that was a really intelligent point that this guy brought up here, that how Doctor Strange didn't want to see this guy because he knew that this was something that he couldn't handle,
right?
And he didn't want to, tarnish that perfect record of his. But the guy, eventually reluctantly tells Strange how he was able to heal himself. He went to a place called Carmitage, and he goes. He doesn't give him a whole lot. He just goes, there I met someone that was really able to help me, and here I am. So go there.
Yep.
And so at this point, Kevin, if you're Doctor Strange and if you're in his position, I mean, obviously Doctor Strange is desperate, but what would have to happen to you for you to be desperate enough to buy a one-way ticket, because that's all you can afford, to Kathmandu, to search for this tiny little village, to find the spot where this supposed ancient one can help heal you?
That's a great question. It would have to be something of equal value to me.
Your dick. You lose your dick in a tragic farming accident. There was a pitchfork involved, and it was bad. But I
would just get a replacement one. Actually, you know what?
Dick.
I know, right?
Go down to CVS and just buy your replacement dick.
Do you have this in other sizes? But no, if I was a devastated doc who was a dickhead douche.
It's a lot of alliteration there, pal.
Thank you. I don't know. It would have to, like I was saying, it'd have to be something of equal value to me as his hands were to him. It would actually probably be my voice, because that's what I've been trying to further my studies in, to use for potential future career. That's why I use for this daggum podcast. Yeah. It's always been something that I've highly valued about myself, you know. So if I lost my voice and there was no shit, no warm tea, no nothing that could bring it back, no NyQuil, then it's like, okay, I'm not going to learn sign daggum. I'm going to go to this magical place and become a sorcerer supreme to magic my voice back, Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
What would I have to lose?
Yeah.
Besides my dick.
Besides your dick, basically, yeah. Like something that isn't the safe, obvious answer for all guys out there. Yeah. Which, of course, I would also want to do it for my dick.
That's a good question.
I feel like we have to have a little dicky on for this episode.
I don't know. Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah. That's a good question. Yeah.
That's why I asked it.
Yeah. Indeed, that is why you asked it.
Yeah.
You asked a good question. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, it's not India, it's Nepal. It's Kathmandu, Nepal that he goes to.
Okay.
And that's where he finds the tiny village of Carmitage. Not to be confused with Kunlun.
I know, right? Yeah. No, different stuffs here.
Yep, different stuff. So he's going around asking random people, what's up?
There it is right there.
Oh, yep.
Pulling it up. Yep. Gonna see where this is. Oh, yeah, dude. This is right above India.
Yep.
Yeah, so never mind, man. Avengers 2 makes less... Or no, the Ancient One makes less sense now. Like, you're right by these people. You saw it in the daggum sky. But
no, Avengers 2 doesn't take place in India.
No, I mean, what country? Because it was someplace close to here, I thought. Isn't that what we said?
No, in Eastern Europe. Because
that still is close enough for me.
Okay. I think it's hard to measure because I'm pretty sure Sokovia is not a real place.
Also, I've never been to Eastern Europe. But yeah, we were saying.
Yeah. So moving on here, Doctor Strange, he's desperately trying to find somebody who knows the Ancient One or Carmitage, but he's not having any luck at all. And then he comes across an alleyway, because nothing good ever happens in alleys. Just ask Batman.
Of course not. Why would you ever do that in a comic book world?
And he gets mugged by like 4 guys that speak perfect English, and it's here where we see Baron Mordo for the first time in this movie. He stops the muggers, and he beats them up pretty good, and they all scurry away. And apparently, Mordo, he's been following Strange for a while now, and he's like, okay, well, I know the place that you seek. I can take you there. And so at this point, Strange meets the Ancient One, and this is a really cool first encounter. Like, I mean, even before the mystical bullshit kicks in, like it's just a really fun encounter because first he meets a guy who he thinks is the Ancient One. It's just like this old, sagely looking man who's sitting down, and Doctor Strange goes before him and goes, thank you for meeting with me, Ancient One, and this and that, and then the guy just gets up and like leaves like mid conversation, and Strange's like, well, what the hell is going on here? And because he's asking for the Ancient One, and then of course the Ancient One is Tilda Swinton. Mm-hmm. And she's standing right in front of him, and she's very kind and then very, warm at first. It's and this is where things get interesting here. So I remember when Tilda was cast as the Ancient One. There was a little bit of a uproar about it because Tilda does not quite resemble a old Asian man.
Yep.
and on top of that, like they kind of taunt us by having Strange think that the old Asian man is the Ancient One.
Right.
Did you have any thoughts one way or another about Tilda?
Yeah. I remember going into the movie, watching the trailer, and hearing everyone's reaction, knowing and expecting, okay, yeah, this is a creative difference that's happening. And now, through the podcaster language, which we've learned to speak very fluently, I mean, it's one of those creative differences that they chose to, take advantage of, right? And I don't think it was necessarily a great change. I don't think it was a bad change. I think it was just that. I think it was, okay, you found an actress who can tackle the role. She did what you asked her to, I mean, right now it's more like it assisted the story. It's cool, know. I mean, do I think an old Asian guy could have put it off? Hell yeah, get Jackie Chan in there, make him look old. Yeah.
I was gonna say get Jackie Chan. That would have been great. That's one less stuntman you have to hire.
Actually, on the contrary, now that I said that and I'm imagining it to myself, I kind of wish they did.
Right. That would have been pretty dope. Hell, I'd have taken Jet Li, make him, or don't make him look older. Hell, Tilda didn't look old.
No, they didn't bother to make her look older. I mean, they just shaved her head.
Yeah. This reminds me, speaking of Kunlun, because we mentioned Kunlun earlier.
Yeah.
And in reference to Kamar-Taj. But Iron Fist, I remember the uproar about Iron Fist. About how people just couldn't believe that they cast a white man as Danny Rand. This is the exact opposite. Like one of these uproars is kind of justified, and the other is not at all.
Right.
Okay. See, because Danny Rand is actually a white male in the comics. Okay. To argue against that is pretty fucking stupid.
It's basically showing that you're either A, going with the mob mentality,
right,
or B, you really don't know what the hell you're talking about,
or both.
Well, both is exact.
Yeah,
that's a good point too. Never mind, that is both. But yeah,
but with the Ancient One here, I guess the thing that really boggles me is that, of course, Tilda Swinton, I think that she's a really great actress. She did a really good job with the role.
Right.
I mean, I really enjoyed her performance here. I guess what causes me to scratch my brain here is that, okay, so when they were doing casting calls for this, they didn't send out for, an older Asian gentleman. They sent out for...
Really?
I mean, yeah, no. I mean, because...
I don't know if this is a reason, but it is an interesting fact. She's one of the only other prominent female roles in this movie. They only had one female before. So, I mean, I'm not sure if that's a factor. It potentially could be in our new age.
No.
But yeah, no, that's interesting to me. They didn't even try to get someone who kind of fits the comic bill more.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, weird. So it just makes for an interesting, piece of information. Like, I wonder I wonder what that was. So this isn't a case where like I'm extremely upset about it or anything like that. It's just a case more where I'm just kind of scratching my head, wondering what made them make this decision.
Right.
It also begs me back to that super amazing movie of the year, Fantastic Four, that came out a couple years ago, and how they cast Michael B. Jordan as Human Torch. And of course, anyone who listens to the podcast knows that we think Michael B. Jordan is amazing. We think the world of that guy. However, him being the Human Torch was kind of another head scratcher. It's like, okay, guys, like I'm not mad, but I'm wondering what made you make this decision,
right?
Because that, just like this, also kind of changes the dynamic of the story a little bit, at least for that character. But that's it's something that you kind of have to mention.
Yeah, no, it deserves to be talked about. Right, it does, especially since it caused an uproar back in the time.
Yeah. But so moving on here, though. I mean, just to clarify, I did really enjoy her performance here.
She's not the only creative difference they chose to talk about, which is a note that I'll bring up later.
Right. Yeah. But so they're talking here, and she's. What's up?
Oh no, same joke I made earlier. I'm telling myself now that she's actually just the Ancient One's daughter. And the actual Ancient One is just like, you take the role. I'm just gonna sit in this back room and chill. Go get us Wi-Fi so I can play my games.
Yeah. But so Doctor Strange and the Ancient One, they have like a conversation, and they're speaking about medicine and things of that nature. And it's funny because Strange is actually getting really motivated. You can tell he's like, he's asking questions, and it's like, oh my gosh, you're like on the breaking edge of blah blah blah. This is like leading medical.
Oh yeah, how experimental is your procedure? Yeah.
He's just super into it because he's thinking that it's all based off of logical medicine, but as he comes to find out, it's not. It's based off of chakras, and it's based off of all this other stuff that I agree with him would be bullshit, acupuncture, and all this other woo-woo nonsense type stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of with Strange on this, because had I been in his situation, I just would have been like, okay, I really spent everything I had to get here, lady, and this is what you give me. Like, I think, as a matter of fact, I may have been a little bit more upset than Doctor Strange was in his position.
Right.
Like, this is what you give me. This is what you showed me here? Okay, all right. But he does get a little upset, and rightfully so. Like, at this point, this isn't him being closed-minded. This is him being a man of logic and of science. And he doesn't... He puts his hand on her, not to hurt her, but he kind of just pokes her, like he literally pokes her.
Right.
And then she immediately retaliates by pushing the soul from this man's body.
She monk palms him and whoosh, astral projection.
Yeah. Now, I've had dreams where like I've had outer body experiences where I'm just kind of walking around looking at myself sleep. Like, this is kind of weird. But no one ever pushed my soul from my body. No one ever pushed Ghost Quentin from physical Quentin's body. But it was during this point where he goes on like the weirdest trip that anyone has ever been on.
Yep.
And he sees just all kinds of weird nonsense, man. It's just crazy. But it's really cool and really well done, because at this point, us as an audience, we're kind of like Doctor Strange, because we don't know what's going on, and neither does he.
Yeah.
What do you think of the scene?
Honestly, dude, at this point, the visuals were really hitting it for me. I loved them. It was super trippy, but it was all the right type of trippy to convince him to have us enjoy it. To really show off like their capability as a studio. And then, of course, we get a little sneak peek into that little purple eyeball and wrinkled, but rippling face of Dormammu.
Yeah.
Which is interesting nonetheless. Mm-hmm. But no, it was all just like... Actually, it did make me think, now that I'm remembering the thought, as I was watching the movie on my laptop, just kind of like letting the scene happen, not pausing it yet... it made me wonder, like, how she was doing this. Not in the sense of, it was all magic, of course, Kevin, shut the hell up. But more like, what magic was she doing? Was it just, like, Like whenever you go to the zoo and you're watching an actual live animal through a plate glass, like was she just like showing him the actual universe and everything, all these multiverses through like a safety lens, protecting him from actual space? Thus he's actually there in person. Thus he actually visited the dark realm and said, "Oh, what's up, Dormammu? I didn't mean to peek through your window. How you doing, buddy? Oh, I gotta go back." Or was it more like, oh, she's just like illuminating all these illusions to him, and all of a sudden he's not actually there, he's just like being tossed around this room saying some crazy shit, you know? I mean,
so, you know, on one hand I want to think it's the latter, but right. I think that the latter would have been more appropriate had he not left his physical body and then she showed him all that. I think it would have been easier to believe that everything he was seeing was just illusions that she wanted him to see.
Right.
But since he actually got pushed from his body...
Oh, no, I believe it was the former.
Yeah. And also seeing just how... I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say it. To see how reckless that the Ancient One can be sometimes.
Right.
Is completely believable that she actually let him go there. I mean, I'm sure that she was obviously there with him, you know, in a sense, protecting him.
Yeah, like magically there. Thus, right. She was able to say, "I think his heart rate's going too high." Oh, pull him back. No, he looks good, and then send him away again.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, shit.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like, damn, lady, don't ever be in charge of a theme park. Yeah. This roller coaster's too slow. Let's do it better.
Basically. So yeah, I have here, and I am really proud of this, and I'm going to apologize ahead of time. He goes on a really strange trip. And
get the hell out.
I'll see myself out, people. This has been the Superhero Homies Podcast. My name is Quentin, signing off.
Well, I'm going to do the rest of this without the punnery as you leave 10 minutes after. That wasn't a bad pun. It was okay. Although I do have another pun.
Oh.
At the point when he's done with the projection here, he's just like, what the hell? What was in that tea? Some drug, LSD. So I'm sitting there and I said, I want some...
psilocybin.
I know, right? I'm glad you remember that. I didn't. But I wrote down in my notes, I want some LST.
See what you did there. That's another pun.
That's a simple marketing, actually. Here's some LST. Feel great. Feels good on the throat, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so once he comes back from this trip, rightfully so, he's like, the hell was that? and she's explaining to him, and then at this point, probably for the first time in this movie, Strange, he humbly says, "Teach me." He's like, he's ready, like he wants to learn. And
on his knees, man.
Yeah, on his knees, yeah. And the Ancient One replies, "No." And this poor man gets thrown out. And at this point, he's out there for like 5 hours, still trying to get in.
Which honestly is pretty easy for most monasteries. There are actual monasteries, and you learn about this through different forms of actual like reading or media that actually have their quote unquote initiates, people who want to join, doing something similar like that in foreign countries for 3 days instead of hours, you know? So it's like, okay, we got to hurry this along for the sake of the movie. But it was still kind of like, okay, I can see what they're doing here. You know, that makes monkish sense.
Right.
Yeah. And that's a word now, monkish.
Yeah. So, of course, she does eventually let him come back in. Do you think that this was just a part of a plan, or do you think that she was just going to let him walk away, or what do you think was happening here?
I think it was part of the plan. I think it was part of a number of things, honestly. One, I think it had to have happened to show that he wasn't special. He wasn't immediately in because he came and saw this cool shit and his name happens to be Strange. It needed to happen because, one, that's the process everyone else had to go through, even more to, so boom, make it happen. And then two, she knew that it was going to be good for him in the sense that he needs to actually show further exertion that I want to do this. I'm banging on your damn door with my piss poor hands and my busted watch. Please let me in. I just want to come in. Yep. And then obviously we heard the clank, open. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was pretty great too.
Oh yeah.
So the Wi-Fi password is Shambhala.
Shambhala.
Does that mean anything?
I think it's an Easter egg. I think.
It might be.
To some comic somewhere, but I don't know enough about it to say yay or nay.
Right.
It sounded like some magical shit, though.
It does. Yeah. Shambhala. Maybe if we chant it 5 times, we can summon like Dormammu or something.
Or like Beetlejuice's evil cousin. If Beetlejuice wasn't evil enough or something, yeah. How would you spell Shambhala? I just used 3 A's.
I have it spelled Shamballa.
Oh, that's actually really cool, huh? So apparently in Hindu and Tibetan Buddhist traditions, Shambhala is a mythical kingdom, actually. So it kind of makes sense because they're entering like a whole new realm.
That's interesting because when I heard Shambhala, my first thought was like Shangri-La, and that's almost exactly what Shangri-La is.
Exactly. Shangri-La, isn't that the name of the holy city where Iron Fist became Iron Fist? Or I'm trying to remember. No, help me out here.
No, I don't know if Shangri-La is from comic material, and it is like similar to Shambhala, like a fable,
a mythical kingdom, someplace outside of our realm, almost. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yep. And it's also a Chinese restaurant, I believe.
Most likely, yes.
Yeah. So I guess it's possible to have Wi-Fi there. I wonder how strong it is, though.
I bet you they can use their magic to be like, I need better service. Womp. Like F Comcast. Yep. We have the Sorcerer Supreme service. The Triple S.
Yeah. My next note here, it is equally funny and true, I feel. It doesn't take a whole lot for the Ancient One to teach you cool magic shit. Like, I feel like what Doctor Strange did, anyone can do as far as getting in.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So I'm like, this is in the middle of, it is a village, but it's like a populated village. I mean, like, no one else literally knows what's going on in here,
right?
Or has an interest in it.
Well, the Ancient One obviously saw time differently. She knew what was and what happened, and like, she
has the capability.
True. So she can see, like, okay, this person's going to join.
Yeah, she can see the possibilities. Not
that's true. Yeah. Okay. So who knows? Maybe in other universes, all those citizens were magic people as well, or some crazy cool thing. But I guess you have to have a capo somewhere, like a little limit. Like, okay, guys, we're not taking any more initiates. Goodbye. Go away. Shoo. Yeah.
I suppose so. But for this crusade she wants, though, I feel like she would need or take as many good ones as she could get.
Yeah. That, who knows if that would have made a difference or not.
Yeah. Let's see. Moving on here, we get Wong for the first time.
Yeah. And the actor's name is Benedict Wong. Yeah. So I was like, what? That's cool.
Yeah.
I was happy about that.
Yeah. It was super interesting, especially in the theater, seeing Wong for the first time, because, everything that I've read about Doctor Strange, and Wong is always there. Wong is like the homeboy, like the magical Afrit is what I call him.
I was just about to make that joke.
And it's so funny here because, like, there's like no disrespect. I mean, there's no real like respect here or any kind of interest. So like seeing these two interact for the first time was pretty interesting.
Yep.
So
and he was another creative difference, might I add. Because in the comics he was a kind of a shorter, older dude, and here he's a larger set, actual average size being. You know, so it was cool. Mm-hmm. It played off well though.
Yeah, this one wasn't nearly as jarring as the Ancient One, though.
True. Yeah. Just another difference made.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I had a question here that they quickly answered, but also still didn't answer my ultimate question. So my question here at this very moment was: all those books Doctor Strange had, were they in English? And then we see him open up one, and no, they were not. Which leads me to my ultimate question, which is, how the hell did you read those books?
Just don't think about it. That is a huge ass Easter egg. And I thought about that too. I know some of them must have been written in more common dialects, like English or maybe the local language of this place or something.
Yeah,
sure.
I guess my whole thought process is like, why would any of these be in English? Because like, if a Tibetan person came here to our local library, which I guess is downtown,
shit,
like, how many books in there would they find that would be in their language?
Maybe the dictionary, like a little translation dictionary.
Yep. And once again, guys, like I'm just picking fun,
right? Yeah, I mean, it's not a huge issue for me, but it is definitely.
Yeah, it's just something worth mentioning and picking fun at.
Yeah. And it is too easy to chalk up. Well, he obviously learned the language with his perfect memory. Blah blah. Whatever. I know, right? At that point, you're just stretching the bridge.
Right.
The rope's getting too tight, people.
Oh man. So at this point, we also discover that Caecilius stole from the Book of Time, and of course, we later learn that.
That's a question I had actually.
Yo.
So I paused and rewinded and paused again here. So the books that he's reading or looking at currently in this library, he's looking at them. That one was the Book of Time. If you paused and watched the scene carefully, you see that there's 5 other books, making a total of 6. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, maybe each book was for a separate relative, quote unquote. Well, I'm not going to do that. Maybe each book represented not a gem, but a subject which is relative to a gem. So in other words, one is the magic of soul, one is the magic of power, and et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, okay, that's okay.
That's very astute of you. Yeah, that's a really good point.
But then, here's the fun question I had about that.
Yeah.
5 gems, 6 books. What do you think the last book was about? If you had to guess right now, like what magic...
So you said that there were... How many books were there?
6.
Okay.
But there's only 5 gems.
What?
Yeah.
Space, time, reality... Power.
Yeah, that's what I meant, bro. There's only 5 gems outside of this movie. You didn't hear the rest of them? I'm so sorry, guys. I lost count. Damn it, there goes my fun question, Q. You broke it. You broke the damn question. I was really expecting like some cool made up powers that you were setting. Yeah, you're right. Damn, I'm tired.
That was almost a really good point you made there. Your first point was still really good about there being
6 books, less one for each gem. Right. But I really wanted there to be an extra. You know what? F it. I'm forcing my question in here. If there were a 7th book, what would the magic subject be? It couldn't be on another gem repeated.
No, the 7th book would be once you combine them all, you get Captain Universe, Captain Planet. And
moving on.
He's our hero.
Moving on.
He's going to bring Thanos down to 0.
I will flick you. Oh my gosh. Yep. Okay.
Spoiler alert, guys. Captain Universe is an actual Marvel character. Moving on here. The last thing we mentioned was Caecilius stealing from the Book of Time.
He's the father of Captain Planet. Okay, I'm done.
It's actually a woman.
She's the mother of Captain Planet. Okay, now I'm done.
Okay. This is Caecilius's plan, and Caecilius in general. He's another casualty of just poor.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah. So his plan, and I don't know how he stumbled across this plan exactly, but his whole plan is he wants to summon Dormammu for eternal life, since Dormammu is like the god of time, and in essence,
right?
That I guess my thing is like, what part of this did Caecilius think was
beneficial? Yeah. No, I had the same question, because Dormammu, be him the god of time or the god of the dark realm or whatever the hell you want to label him. Yeah. Maybe both in this case. Time is his dark realm. And you can quote me on that. But at this point, it's like, yeah, what made you think that his eternal life is any kind of good life?
Right.
You know, like eternal life in this case, it sounds more like you're just dead forever.
Yeah, that's
which is actual death.
Yeah. That's really what it seems like.
Yeah.
And like, once again, I wish Marvel would spend a little bit more time on these villains.
Yeah.
Because Mads Mikkelsen is a fantastic actor.
Yep.
it's funny because most movies that I've seen Mads Mikkelsen in, he always has funny eyes. Like in this movie,
they do play with his eyes.
Yeah, in this movie, he has. I guess he kind of has like these interesting eyes in reality. But remember Casino Royale, he had like the bleeding eye.
Yeah.
In Rogue One, wasn't he blind?
Also, yes. Hannibal, he had weird eyes. That's true. The Hunt, he had normal eyes. The Hunt. Okay. Yeah. I'm actually seeing him right here in the Hunt picture. Yeah. But no, I am curious. I want to pull up pictures of him in Rogue One. Where is he at? Let me type in his name. Say his name for me one more time.
Mads, Mads.
Oh, there he is right there. We're just going to do that. Rogue One, man. Movie poster, yes. What the hell's going on? He looks like he even has an eye patch. Movie-wise, nah, he's just him.
Just a regular guy, okay.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah. So, it's like half and half.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so I guess, Kaecilius is unfortunately just another casualty of Marvel not caring about these villains a whole lot.
True.
I mean, because we really don't even know this guy.
No, we don't know why he wanted to learn magic. We don't know.
All we know is that he's similar to Strange in some ways.
Essentially, yeah. It's similar to Strange in how quickly he was able to learn magic, right. His pompous personality of sorts. Yeah.
Like you said, we don't know what brought him to Kamar-Taj. We don't know.
Right.
Yeah, we don't know why he joined.
Life,
we don't know why he left. Per se, I mean,
we do kind of learn a few reasons why he left.
Well, a little bit. He gives
detailed.
Yeah, he gives like some vague information on the Ancient One, but like, is that why he left?
I mean, it's easy to simply chalk it up under that and a few emotional baggage reasons, like now I can't trust her.
Well, that's the thing.
Blah,
like,
blah,
I feel
blah.
like if we had seen the journey of Kaecilius from light to dark side,
right,
then it would have made for a more compelling villain, maybe even a good villain.
Right? No, I agree with you fully. Yeah. But they just kind of gloss over and give us basic detail or no detail on a lot of parts.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thus, your typical Marvel movie villain formula.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So the next thing we get here is the sling ring. This is a cool artifact. Who makes these? It's a cool artifact that like all the new recruits kind of get.
It's a sweatshop. They're just like grinding the metal down, like freaking cleaning out the actual ring holes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, obviously, because I was like, so. And once again, this is just me having fun here with the movie. Like, where the hell did these things come from? Who's making these sling rings? Because there's enough for everybody.
Yeah.
Strange is struggling, and that's hard to say really fast.
Struggle Strange.
And
that was more fun than it should have been.
Yeah. But yeah, he's struggling here because everybody's, making their like astral projections or their magical fields and whatnot. And Strange, he's just not doing it. And I do agree. I think that he is in his own head because of his hands. I think that he's thinking, because my hands are broken, I'm not going to be able to do this.
Right.
And yeah, that's essentially what it is. The Ancient One, she has a talk with him, and long story short, she abandons his ass on Mount Everest.
Yep. She shows him a one-handed man and then says, okay.
Yeah, the one-handed man is actually the one who he thought was the Ancient One.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But so she abandons him in Mount Everest. Now, I don't know about you, Kevin, but if I was Doctor Strange at this point, I think I would be able to also conjure up the sling ring to go back to Kamar-Taj.
Okay.
But not for my survival, but because I want to attempt to kick this old lady's ass, and then I'm leaving. I'm leaving, and I'm taking all the cool books, and I'm never coming back.
See, because I know who she is, I would have done the same shit, but I would have stolen a lot more shit on the way out.
Oh, yeah.
I would have said, this damn stick is mine. This sling ring is mine. I'm stealing one for the other hand, too. I'm taking all these books. Give me all them books, all 6 of them Power Gym books.
Taking everything. But yeah, she, then this just really goes to show like how reckless the Ancient One can be. Because I'm thinking, okay, she's obviously gonna save him if need be. The more I think about it, I don't know. Because, because Mordo was more concerned than she was.
Yeah.
She was concerned, but she didn't want to let on, because it was taking some time for him to get back.
I think she would have.
I think she would have gotten his dead body off of there, and then maybe brought him back to life. But that's a hell of a teaching method.
I know, right? Oh, you died.
I guess that's the magical equivalent of like your dad throwing you in the deep end of the pool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did your dad do that ever?
No.
My dad did. He did that to me in the pool. He did that to me at like my first dance. Like, Kevin,
he threw you into a pool at your first dance. That was unnecessary.
I wasn't even in a swimsuit. No, but he was definitely like he was my coach for like baseball and soccer and a bunch of sports I played, and he was also like a huge life coach for me, saying, "Okay, Kevin, we're at a dance. You're not standing on the side of the damn wall, all right? No, go out there and ask someone to dance." Okay, Dad. And I was like 12 or something, come on. So, yeah, there's that. Yep. So I'm imagining she's just like mothering the hell out of him.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So we come to find out Wong, he does know who Beyonce is.
He does.
Yes, he does. I think he was listening to, what was it, All the Single Ladies?
All the Single Ladies.
Yeah. We inadvertently just kind of sung the song.
We did! I noticed that. All the Single Ladies, all the Single Ladies, all the Single Ladies, all the Single Ladies.
Oh, shit.
Remember when they did that on BoJack Horseman?
Yeah.
All the single dollars, all the single dollars. I miss that show.
And this made me ask another really, honestly, unimportant question. I wonder if Wong, he obviously does know who those other guys were, like Drake, Bono, Madonna.
Madonna, yeah.
He's got to know who all those other guys are, also, right?
Yeah.
But Wong has a mean poker face, man, because he ignorant.
He doesn't give up his.
Yeah. But yeah, Wong's love of Beyonce is what allowed Doctor Strange to steal a lot of these, or to borrow, quote unquote, a lot of these books to read from.
Yeah. And we're coming up on a good point here that will soon answer the question you asked way earlier, and I'll remind you what that question was.
Okay, good, because I forgot.
Cool.
Yep. Oh, when he becomes Doctor Strange to you? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's see here. Let me know if I skip over, because I'm...
Yeah, no, you're good.
So the next thing I have here is another training scene. This time with Mordo. Mordo has the staff of the Living Tribunal.
Cool ass staff.
Yeah. Now the Living Tribunal is a really powerful cosmic being in the Marvel universe, and I'm wondering, like, did they just name that staff that just because, or I wonder if there's some kind of cool tie-in, like to the Living Tribunal, like is there actually. Like, is this actually a reference to him, like a callback or something? Who knows? But
I think in this case it serves the point of an Easter egg, but if you're asking that they're calling it out, saying that this might be the subject of a future Strange movie,
well, not so much that, but
okay.
like, is it possible that we could see the Living Tribunal period in the future? Like, is he an actual entity in the MCU?
He'll be in the background with Stan Lee playing jump rope with the same stick, like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
Yep. And we also get like the cool boots of jumping, whatever they were called.
I know, right? The cool ass boots. Yep. Oh no, the boots of Voltor. It was something like that.
Yeah,
it was some odd, strange ball name.
Yeah. And he spars with Mordo. Does not go his way.
Spars.
Yeah, if you want to call it that.
Air quotes thick here, because Strange basically like, oh shit, he's bouncing off air, doosh, and took a punch hard. Yeah.
I mean, that's hard to prepare for. Like, even if you're the most astute martial artist, and you know your own body inside and out, and you know what the human body is capable of.
Yeah.
Once you see a guy jumping off of air like a damn video game.
Yeah.
Like,
at that point, it's like, whoa, what?
Yeah. But yeah, that was what they call that. That was a relic that.
Yeah, the relics.
Mordo was
Mordo was rocking
use.
2.
Yeah,
he had 2 relics.
Yeah.
Let's not front. Yeah, cool ass relics.
Yeah, it really goes to show just how astute he is.
Yeah,
you know, he's also like the Ancient One's right hand man.
That's a point I'll bring up later too. Yeah.
Well, what do you think of Mordo at this point in the movie?
At this point, I really respected him, and I kind of had like a very, very like wannabe Don Cheadle, kind of like wannabe Falcon vibe from him. Like he was gonna be like Strange's go-to buddy. It felt like at this point, which any comic fan would have known that's not the case, but anyone watching the movie would have been like, okay, he's gonna be like his good buddy teacher pal who's gonna still be able to be like his Strange's go-to guy for, hey, we really need this situation eradicated, we need it fixed, here, you're my helping, you're my friend,
Right.
And it kind of felt like they were swinging for that a little bit here, and it was cool,
I do love the fact that they essentially do give us like a fake out.
Right.
Because I knew, like, going into the movie, I knew that Mads Mikkelsen was in it as a villain. I just thought that Kaecilius was going to be, like, the side villain, and Mordo was going to be the main antagonist.
Yeah.
That was my thought going into the movie, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. No, it was super awesome, because we get to experience, not just see, but experience the backstory of Mordo a lot more,
Right.
Yeah. And plus, just how great he is at magics. Yeah, all the magics.
He's really good. I do have some qualms about his turn and his reasoning, but we'll get there.
Right.
Yeah.
And I knew you would, because I do too. But yeah, we'll get there. Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Next thing I have here is that Strange illegally uses the Eye of Agamotto to practice, and he learns of Dormammu in the process. So this guy, he's picking it up quick now. Like leaving him on Mount Everest was like the greatest thing to ever happen to him, because ever since then he's been picking up like the magic left and right. There was one scene where he was sleeping, yet his astral form was studying, which I love that, because like we see Doctor Strange a lot in his astral form in the comics, of course, and so to see that here was just really fun. Yeah, to see him learning.
That's just him taking advantage of basic magic at this point.
It is. And I think about that, like, man, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, for real. I mean, think about the shit we could get done.
Right.
Yeah.
I do also like the idea, though, of like, because I wouldn't want to go too far from my body,
No.
Like,
Like,
what if someone
stay in the same house?
Yeah. What if someone breaks in and I'm off somewhere else?
Well, you can you can make your house look haunted. You can scare them and hurt them with furniture and shit. I mean, yeah. You could do something cool with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, the whole scene here where he finally, we see the Eye of Agamotto, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I totally called the shit pre-movie. I said that thing's going to be an Infinity Gem.
I remember you saying that. Indeed, it was sufficiently called.
Thank you. I'm like 1 for 20.
I feel like that's healthy that's the case. Yeah, because at this point,
if I was right on everything, like if I had been right with the Eye of Agamotto and also with like the Soul Gem and Black Panther, then like I don't know, I'd be telling you guys exactly what's going to happen in Infinity War.
I wouldn't be here for that episode.
Oh man,
I'd be like, Q, I can't come in. I'm sick. Cough.
I don't believe you.
No, I'm coughing. Cough, cough. See, cough.
Yeah. But no, this is just a really good scene here, because we get to see the Eye of Agamotto in use, and we get to see like what it can do here in the realms of the MCU, and we get to learn a little bit more about Dormammu and about why he's such a big deal. And he's immediately like reprimanded, like, no, you can't do that. Put that back. What are you doing? Stop that.
Right? Yeah, like freaking Wong and Mordo kind of team up on him, like, no, do you know what you're doing?
Right.
Yeah, really dramatic here.
Yeah. But Doctor Strange does have a point. Like, I mean, okay, guys, you should really put the warnings before the spells.
I know, right? It's like that just makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, that's like if I was the one to write that book. That's some shit that I would do. Like on the second to last page. By the way, guys, back in like the middle of the book, forgot to tell you, if you do that, then
you're really effing with some sensitive fabric here.
You could destroy all space time. FYI.
Honestly, that needs to be like the first, third, fifth, seventh, every other chapter. Like stretch that shit out. Like, okay, this is the dangers of da-da-da-da-da-da, and then chapter 2, real short. Chapter 3, da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, exactly. Like, that needs to be your book.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So next, Wong and Mordo, they explain the purpose. And at this point, Caecilius, he attacks.
Actually, right here, I'm going to stop you and answer your question now.
Go ahead.
So before the tutorial about, hey, this is where we are, and this is where they, New York, London, and Hong Kong are at, and before the Caecilius attack, this is where I say Strange is officially on the level he needs to be.
Really?
This is where he is Strange. Yes, he doesn't have any of the cosmetics, like the cape, and he doesn't own the Eye of Agamotto yet, which okay, whatever, sure. Those are like key factors to our boy in the comics, yes. But skill level here, and I have a few things of evidence to support me here. If you notice at the beginning of his time in this monastery, working with the Ancient One in Mordo, trying to get himself better, what robe was he wearing? Do you remember?
What robe was he wearing?
Yeah, which robe? Because it's important.
It was like a bluish thing.
No. At the very beginning. He does get a bluish one, but at the beginning. Like, which one was he wearing?
I don't know. What was he wearing?
White. Like, off-white, grayish almost, right? And at this point, he doesn't know shit. Yeah. He's here with other white robes, and they're all just doing the most basic of magic, right? And then eventually, after we see him being more of a studious person and getting more magic done, and after the scene with the freaking mountaintop on Everest and the, oh, I'm freezing my ass off, let me go home now.
Right.
We see him in thicker red robes, right? Walking around more confidently, more with books in hand, knowing like, oh, this is a symbol of a better student, like almost like a junior past that sophomore, freshman, wet behind the ears still look.
Right.
And then eventually when the Ancient One calls him in personally, showing him, hey, this is a safe practice space for your advanced magics, that when he walks in them blue, kind of like more custom fitting robes where he's got his own color, and then Mordo had his own color, and Wong has his own color.
Kevin, I think you're just forgetting that he's just patriotic.
I'm going to close your computer. No, but at that point is where I say he had the skill level that the Ancient One noticed, where he needed to, separate himself to train in a safe, freaking other dimension.
Yeah, the mirror dimension.
Yeah. Here is where I say Strange became Strange. Yeah. And then the other artifacts, or relics, help him out, which I'm not sure if you can call the Eye of Agamotto a relic, because it's technically a damn power gem, Come on. Yeah. At that point, you passed for relicisms. But the cape is obviously his mark relic.
Right.
Yeah. But
that's a really good point. I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
However, I don't think he was Doctor Strange at this point.
Okay.
Because he was still fearful. He didn't want to fight. He didn't want to do what the Sorcerer Supreme would need to do.
True. He did make a huge bout about that. Like, I don't need to kill, blah, blah, which is, okay.
And he makes this whole big deal about, I didn't come here for this.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
so I guess in the layered sense, magically, I would still say he was there. Mentally.
Yeah. I mean, even magically, I think that Caecilius could take him down.
Well, I mean, Caecilius was an overpowered D-bag at this point who had like the dark realms coloring his eyeshadow and everything, Yeah.
I mean, so do you think that at this point right here that Strange can take down Mordo? Because I don't think so.
No, I think Mordo, with experience and relics alone, could take his ass down. Mm-hmm. Plus, Mordo was more the embodiment of like the sharp edge strength character who was more like, this is my way of thinking, let me punch you through the air because I'm bolting off of it. Whereas Strange was more the open mind, rule rebellion type guy who could understand more points of view almost, and of course his old deal of, I don't want to kill to be the good Hippocratic Oath type thing, So at this point, maybe, a fair compromising answer. He was more Strange, definitely. He was ready to become Strange. He just needed to grow, to change in a good way, obviously, in order to really just step onto the cliff. Because he was already at the level. He just needed to take that final step, maybe. If you want to imagine with me as such a metaphor.
Right. Yeah, there's still some growing that he needed to do in order for him to. And I think that at this point, that lack of growth stunted him, not just emotionally, but also in the sense of his capabilities as well.
In that case, to better answer your question, I don't think that happens until like the damn end of the movie. Then.
Yeah, I think that I don't think he becomes Doctor Strange because actually I kind of gave away my answer earlier. I don't think he becomes Doctor Strange until he decides to confront Caecilius.
Exactly,
which is really at the end of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, it takes that long then if we really want to take all that into consideration: the magic level, the mental level, the decision to do what a Sorcerer Supreme has to do. Yeah. So cool.
Yep.
All right.
Let's see, but we get a really cool fight scene here, basically, because what happens is that Doctor Strange, he's knocked into the New York Sanctum.
And, how convenient!
Yeah, and we get like another really cool, unique action scene here. So first of all, like the Sanctum is an extremely interesting place. Yeah, like I would like to explore that place.
Oh, look, there's a little temperature gauge here. Oh shit! Nope. That's just a thermometer for portals.
Right. Like now I'm in the Sahara. Now
I'm in the thermostat for portals. Better said. Yeah.
Now I'm in the rainforest. Yeah. Now. Yeah. But it was a really cool place, and like I also really love how they gave the house that kind of personality.
Yeah.
I mean, because like the Sanctum Sanctorum really is like a really eerie magical place. That's how it's always described and appearing in the comics. Like it's always this place full of magical rugs that you don't know what the hell they do, so you don't touch anything.
Yeah.
And but
I will ask you this though. The London sanctuary where we see our boy Caecilius attacking, right?
Mm-hmm. No, I think he just takes that place down.
Right, no, he takes it down. But there were people there.
Yeah.
Okay. Where the hell were the people in New York?
There was only one guy there.
Yeah. Like, what is that? I guess that makes sense, because even Strange was the one guy eventually, sure.
Yeah.
But then it's like, I'm sorry. You only entrust one body to protect a vital key point in the Earth's defense. Yeah. Like, you have 3 people on staff for this. You couldn't stretch that staff out to at least be 6, 2 for each. Come on, people.
Good point. And, maybe the astral threats have been few and far between in the past few centuries.
I believe, especially the ones that they consider to be astral threats.
Yeah.
Hey, so we got a giant ass robot making a big ass meteor trying to crush the Earth. Is that astral?
That's not our call.
No,
not our call.
Okay, no. I'll go ahead and stop putting them on hold and just hang up on them. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Let's see.
There's a phone service for that.
Oh man! So he ends up in the New York Sanctum, and he's kind of wandering around the sanctuary, and
cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah. I mean, it basically is like a really cool museum / mansion / just.
I kind of wonder which relics are in the other ones, because we didn't get to see their relics.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, one of them might. The London one might have Excalibur or something.
Let's see here. So, and we do, of course, he's walking around, and we see all the glass displays, and we see the cloak of levitation, and one of them, and the thing of it is, like, I could be completely wrong, because like out of all like the comics I've read, I have not read a lot of solo Doctor Strange. Most of my Doctor Strange knowledge comes from like
when he was with other people.
Yeah, it comes from team ups.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of solo Doctor Strange stuff, I just haven't read. Not because I'm not interested, just because there's so much. But the cloak of levitation, both in the theater and watching it again last night, made me scratch my head, because I was like, is the cloak really like the genie's carpet? Or Aladdin's carpet?
Oh my gosh. It was made from the same tapestry. That's... I don't know. Readers, our listeners who read, which I kind of hope is everybody out there. Please read something. Please comment, educate us. Give us some love. Let us know what the
because the truth of the matter is,
cape is actually like.
I am like 65% certain that the cloak is not sentient, not in that degree.
That's still a failing grade. Like, you didn't pass.
Kevin,
you got to go back.
See, it's people like you that are Debbie Downers, okay?
My name's not Debbie.
Derek, okay?
Just to further be a
Derek Downers.
Derek Downers. That sounds like a bad novel name. Like,
well, 60% is still majority. So I am majority sure that the cloak is not sentient.
Okay.
But I thought it was an interesting decision, though. They made the cloak like a sentient type thing in the movie. You know, like to have it have its own personality.
Yeah. It was definitely fun.
It was really fun. Yeah. I didn't have any problems with it. You know, I mean, everything has magical properties. So
we got to see the cloak slam someone. Yeah.
Oh, the puns are many tonight.
I know, right? We are quite fruitful in punnery.
So before he gets the cloak, he gets attacked by Caecilius and his men. Yeah, and it is equal skill and luck that saves Doctor Strange's ass.
Yup.
Yeah, because I can see plenty of moments where he could have been killed. Luckily, he's able to trap like two of the henchmen and like those different portals that lead to like different parts of the world or universe, which must suck for them.
Oh my gosh, for real!
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm trapped in the rainforest. There are literally dozens of creatures here that could kill me. In minutes. How do I go home?
I hope they have sling rings.
You know what? I'm gonna put it past them. They don't.
Now, what's interesting here is that this the main henchman, the one that gives him problems, that's a really famous actor, Scott Adkins. He's really underrated, though.
What has he done?
He's done. I'm trying to think of like some.
You know what? Give me a second. He popped up on the cast list, actually, pretty high up.
And I was a little aggravated that they didn't bother to give his character a name.
No, he's just called the Strong Zealot.
Yeah, Strong Zealot. Yeah.
Let's see what Scott Adkins is about.
Scott Adkins, he's one of those actors that like does all of his own stunts.
Yeah. Okay. He's got a lot of like fighting movies.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
He does all his own shit.
Boyka, Undisputed 3, Redemption, Ninja.
Yeah.
Wait. No, never mind. That's not the same. I was wondering if that was that really, really weird, lame movie that you and I watched where we had to put on like subtitles because it was all in like Japanese or something, and it was about ninjas versus aliens.
No, that was literally called Ninja versus Aliens.
Okay, that's right. Which was a hilarious movie. People, do yourself a favor and watch it,
or don't.
It's hilarious. It's okay if you enjoy watching bad movies with friends. That's a fun nomination for you guys to watch together. There you go. Okay,
but yeah, so Scott Adkins, though, he is a really, really talented guy. Like, there's a reason why you see him in a bunch of fighting movies, because this guy can undoubtedly do all of his own stunts, which I'm pretty sure he did in this movie. It'd be ridiculous to get Scott Adkins and then not have him do his own stunts.
Except for the astral stunts.
Nope, he even did those.
You need me to ghost up for this? Okay, I can ghost up.
Do that.
Which was ghosting noise.
Yeah. Scott Adkins, though, he's the man.
Cool.
So essentially what happens is that the cloak eventually makes the save, because Doctor Strange, he's about to, die.
The way you delivered that was great. I just want to give you that quick critique, because that was awesome. It's not a critique, it's a compliment.
And next I have on here, that cloak is the real MVP here.
It is, yeah.
That cloak is saving his ass, like, in so many different ways. Let's see, because it's at this point here where he's fighting Caecilius, like, just one-on-one, and he tries to go for something he sees, and the cloak stops him, and it's so hilarious to see, because
the cloak was like, I have a better idea.
Right.
No, come over here.
Yeah.
I'm better than you right now. Come over here. Which, honestly, the cloak made the right call.
Yeah, the cloak made the right call. It put him in that weird contraption. It put Caecilius,
which was hilarious to watch. Like, no. Yeah. Oh, I'm breakdancing a little bit. Oh.
Right, we're talking about like that full body handcuff that Caecilius got trapped in. Like, what the hell is this thing?
Yeah.
Could you imagine if cops had those? Wow. I don't want to imagine that.
No, me neither. That hurts.
Yeah.
Like, I'm physically in pain now thinking that.
But it's at this point, this is actually where Scott Adkins comes into play and attacks Strange. Yeah. And they tussle for a bit, and Strange...
It was actually after a short, very fun little moment between our main protagonist and antagonist, which they had fun chemistry, I thought. What did you think of that scene?
Yeah, so it was at this point here where Caecilius really, like, tries to break down Strange a little bit and try to tell him a little bit as to why he's doing what he's doing.
Don't you want immortality?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, at this point, Strange really doesn't know what to make of it, because, honestly, he doesn't know the Ancient One that well, and he doesn't know Caecilius at all, but,
no.
I mean, shit, he knows that, Caecilius just killed some people.
Yeah. No, I was just really wanting to compliment the energy and the chemistry between Benedict and Mads. Yeah.
No, I thought it was good for what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I didn't have any qualms with it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So next thing we get here is Strange. He transports to the hospital because he gets stabbed, like, almost directly through the heart by, like, one of those astral blades.
Yeah, which is also kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't know why no one else does that.
That's true.
Strange keeps making his little, like, finger whip things, like fighting with that. But
I guess maybe everyone has, like, their own, maybe it's like a martial arts.
I suppose, yeah.
There's different types of martial arts. I'm sure there's different types of.
I was just a fan of Caecilius's like his own actual thing, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna use these cool ass like dagger knife things and chuck them or fight with them. That was more my speed.
And then of course we get Christine again. Isn't that her name, Christine?
Yeah, Christine.
Yeah. I don't even know her name.
Yeah. Again, she didn't pass the Bechdel test, which, by the way, is the Bechdel test. Because I said it incorrectly earlier. I did see it on the side.
Okay.
Yep, indeed.
And so we get to see her, and because she's trying to save Dr. Strange, he's asking for her help, and at this point he leaves his body again, and he's in astral form. Now, what's really cool about this, other than the fact that it's just a really amazing scene, is the fact that you can Google that scene and it's directly taken from a comic book. One thing about Christine is that she is actually supposed to be the night nurse, which I know, guys, is kind of a conflict because we already have a night nurse in Rosario Dawson in the Netflix series.
My gosh.
Yep.
Well, that could be more than one.
I suppose, yep.
It's New York, man. It's a big-ass city.
It's very true. But in the comics, this night nurse is one of the same.
Could you imagine if New York City, one of the biggest cities in our damn country, had only one night nurse for the entire... Oh my God. I'm done. Yep. Continue. Yep. I just wanted to laugh about that. Yeah.
So the role of the night nurse was essentially to take care for and tend to, like, the Defenders or Avengers, whoever she can help,
whichever super team has the rights currently.
Yeah, exactly. And since I guess they realized that, okay, we kind of split this character since we can't use Rosario for this for obvious reasons, but we can tweak the character and have it essentially be the same character.
A part of me kind of wants to remake the scene where Rosario is the nurse, and she's like, "You gotta be kidding me! Not another one of you."
That would have been great. Just like nix the Romax altogether because we don't need it.
Yep.
And put Rosario in that role. That would have been great. Actually, I would have dug that. That would have been fantastic. She would have had. She must have so many stories.
I know, right?
Like way more than the average nurse, because the average nurse has a ton of stories.
She'd be the coolest medical personnel in like that entire district of medicine. Just like.
So I've healed the blind ninja. Yep. I've healed the man with unbreakable skin. Mm-hmm. I've healed the man with an iron fist.
I healed a private detective who also was super.
And now I'm healing a sorcerer.
So what have you done with your life?
Yep.
Oh, and I slept with one arm. Guess.
Yeah. Guess which one. Almost slept with the blind ninja.
Also, yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Very true.
And in the comics, I actually sleep with the guy with the iron fist.
Which, at that point, you would have lost a lot of people in the conversation.
Anyways, though, this is just a really cool scene, though, because this is taken like directly from a comic. The night nurse working on Doctor Strange as he's hovering over his own body. So that was really cool to see. But of course, at this point, Caecilius, or Scott Adkins, the main henchman, he's being strangled to death by the cloak. And he decides that now's a good time to leave his own body too, because why not? You know, you're not winning the fight with the cloak, so you might as well leave. Yeah. And Ghost henchman and Ghost Strange, they do battle. What you think of this scene here as a whole?
Ghost Strange.
Not like Patrick Swayze Ghost, but.
Yeah, do the surgery on my heart or whatever on the wound, the knife wound. No,
while we sculpt pottery
over my corpse. No, it was super creative actually, because we needed to see cool use of magic in this movie. One, to really sell the idea, push the idea that he has become or is becoming the Sorcerer Supreme, and also really to captivate and to just expand the mindset of the audience, you know? Yeah, because now we live in such a cool day and age where we can use our technology to really make these ideas, these far-fetched creative what-ifs come to life on these big screens, you know? So seeing a fight between two ghosts in a surgery room where one of the ghost's actual body is being worked on all at the same time, simultaneous freaking then hell yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah.
We need to make that happen. And we did in this scene. And it looked great. The one flaw that I wanted to ask you about that I have written down right here. Imagine the equation with me. The defibrillator.
Yep.
Clear, charging up, super electric pump. Boom. Human body gets the heart pumping. Cool. Awesome. We get the point of it medically. Now, what the hell does that do for the spirit? How did the electrical defibrillator charge the body, thus the spirit becoming more powerful with like this little Nova burst bullshit? Like, what? Is there a connection I don't know about?
Yes, Kevin. The answer is actually quite simple.
Is it just don't think about it?
Yes.
It's always just don't think about it.
Just don't think about it.
That's
I'm gonna make a small bridge here.
Okay,
and just
please
say,
do.
And just say
a
that
rope bridge.
It's probably just something to do with magic that we don't know.
See, no, that's bullshit. That's too easy to rely on. I mean, how many people from freaking Narnia or Harry Potter's world, or whatever the hell you call that besides Harry Potter's world? Dumbledore? No, that's a person. I don't Harry Potter. Hogwarts.
Oh, there it
is. But then where was Hogwarts? Because that's not the name of the place. That's the name of the school.
Oh.
I don't know. London? Europe? Europe. But, no, let me rope myself back in here. No, that was just a weird flaw where it was like, do it again, but up the charge. Wait, is this doing something for your ghost? How is this doing anything for your ghost, Strange? But then again, I forgot about one of the precious rules here, which I don't know. We already have a golden rule. I already have a platinum rule. So what rule can this one be?
Just don't think about it.
Just don't think.
That's got to be up there, man.
That's got to be up there. That's got to be like the diamond rule or something. Yeah,
that's the diamond rule.
That's the diamond rule.
Because here at Superhero Homies, we obviously cover a lot of superhero material, and
true.
There's a lot of things in superhero lore that, to my surprise, and probably to all of you guys' surprise, some of these things don't quite make logical sense. I know, it's crazy, right?
Yep.
And so there are a time or two where Kevin and I have to rely on the just don't think about it.
Yep. So that is the diamond rule. Yep. And that's why I'm dubbing it from here on out. The diamond rule. Done.
Yeah.
Okay.
But let's see. Moving on here, he's able to defeat evil Scott Adkins. And he goes back into his body. He has a brief talk with his woman friend, who is taking this all surprisingly well.
I know, right? Well, at first she responded as we would have expected. The whole like, hey, tell me the truth. He tells her the truth. Well, whatever, just don't tell me the truth. Like that's been done a few times.
The thing that pissed me off about that, I'm like, you saw his ghost.
Like, how is this so unbelievable?
Right.
Yeah.
You have seen this man talk to you in ghost form.
Which is why I think it was the most appropriate thing for him to just go, okay. Open the door and be like, okay, here's the portal. Yeah. Guess what? I was telling the truth, bitch.
Right. Yeah.
As he goes away, Jerry's ghost comes back in. It whispers, loser.
That is a Rick and Morty reference, people.
Indeed it is, and I'm quite proud of it. Because we are talking a lot about dimensional travel, so come on. I digress. Let's go on.
Yeah, let's move on here. So he comes back, and Caecilius is gone at this point. And at this point, we have like the whole big moral conundrum, because the Ancient One is using the Dark Dimension to lengthen her livelihood, to give her life, essentially.
Yeah, to make her ancient.
Yeah. And Doctor Strange is scared to kill. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want any part of this war. I mean, I see both sides here of this argument, because Doctor Strange does have a point in the sense of, like, this isn't what I signed up for. You know, right. What am I doing here exactly? What do you guys? Yeah,
I just wanted hands.
Right. And now my question is, he's been here how many months, and you guys haven't bothered to tell him that, you know, we're here to protect Earth against like ancient evil and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe this is something that Doctor Strange just should have known. I mean,
they did kind of talk about it retrospectively earlier with the whole, okay, we have these different divisions in Hong Kong, New York, London, and our purpose is to keep a shield generated to protect Earth.
Right.
And that you kind of get a little bit.
I'm thinking that Doctor Strange is thinking that's like the magical National Guard, you know, like.
Maybe even technically, you know, yeah. He does, however, astutely question protect from what very quickly. Like that was his immediate question. Like what the hell do we protect from? You know. So to an extent, he does kind of know it, but I think in this moment, the reality of the issue slapped him in the face almost a few times, literally. And then he's just like, wait, no, I just wanted hands. I want surgeon money and life back, you know, so I'm clocking out?
Yeah.
Can I do that? Where's my timesheet? Yeah.
I thought that this was a really good scene. This was a scene that the movie really needed, you know, to kind of give some meat to the plot and also to the characters as well.
Yeah.
It showed another side of the Ancient One, that she wasn't just this all kind, all wise, powerful person, but she also has some moral quandaries about herself as well. You know, because she's doing something bad, but for the greater good. And, you know, so that always creates a conundrum, because that's where most villains come from.
Yeah.
You know, they do bad things for the sake of something really good. That's what Caecilius thinks he's doing, you know?
Right.
Yeah. But they don't have a whole lot of time to talk here, because Caecilius comes back. He comes back really quick.
He does. Yeah. He got out of the cool trap.
Yeah. He gets out of the trap when Doctor Strange comes back from the hospital, and then this is where he talks with Ancient One and Mordo. And but then, like, shortly after like the talk, he comes right back.
Yeah. Like, he's just like, okay, come on.
Doctor Strange, he thinks he comes up with a good idea. He puts them in the mirror dimension. It's like, you can't hurt the real world here. So what you gonna do now, bitch? And Caecilius was like, oh, you don't fucked up. You don't even know it. This is word for word, people. I wrote down these quotes verbatim.
He did. That's what he said. At this point, everyone's like watching the movie and coming back to us and watching the movie. Wait a minute.
You gotta watch with the subtitles on. That's your problem. But yeah, so the mirror dimension actually gives Caecilius more power. It gives him more strength.
Go figure. All the zealots.
Yeah, all of them, yeah. I guess something to do with Dormammu and reasons.
And dark energies,
Yep.
Because why not?
Yeah, because why not? So Strange and Mordo, they're in this mirror world now, and it's a really cool scene here because like New York City is bending and twisting, and then like all kinds of crazy shit's happening.
And for the most part, the people don't even know it. Like
cars
people don't driving off of the screen and just like, oh, we're driving perfectly straight down now. But
to be fair, it is also the mirror dimension. So So I suppose it's something that's actually happening in reality.
Yeah. I get that. I wasn't making fun of that. It was just like super cool looking because it's like there's no panic. Everyone's just doing New York Day.
Right. Yeah. We get the Stan Lee cameo.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. What book was he reading?
The Doors of Perception.
Thank you.
It was interesting because I had to look up that book because Stan Lee was reading it and laughing, and I guess he was laughing because like the book. Obviously, guys, I have not read it, but the book, from what I've seen, like the synopsis, is essentially like about kind of like not so much the meaning of life, but more like our perception of reality and really what's real and what's not, what really kind of matters. And it's interesting because Stan Lee is reading that and he's laughing. And I guess what we're supposed to take from that is the fact that reality as we know it isn't a thing, because look at Doctor Strange. So that was kind of my takeaway from that. And I thought that was really clever and really intelligent Easter egg. Let's see here.
What? Or actually, I got something funnier for you.
Mm-hmm.
The book was written and as an essay, but then re-released as a book by Aldous Huxley. It was from 1954, and it details his experience, and this is the part, when he took a hallucinogenic...
Yeah, I think it was LSD the guy actually took.
No, it was mescaline.
Oh.
Mescaline, yeah. And I went ahead and looked that up, and yes, people, that is also a freaking hallucinogenic, comparable to LSD,
psilocybin.
Thank you, yes.
I think also it's relatable to DMT, which is like a natural hallucinogenic.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, so this whole book, your perception is based off of...
Dimethyltryptamine,
yeah. But, okay.
Mm-hmm. But let's see here. So moving on here, Caecilius is really doing work here, and surely Doctor Strange and Mordo are gonna bite the bullet and die. But the Ancient One steps in, and so I have here, because I'm not writing Ancient One for all of these notes because that's just too much writing for me. So I have AO as her name.
That was just a bad joke there.
I have here AO is BA, because she is. It's because she comes in and she does work. She does some really cool work. Like, damn, like y'all have a long way to go to catch up with this chick. She's doing work here, putting in work, kicking some ass. She saves Strange and Mordo, but she's distracted and she suffers a very, very fatal mistake here. She too is also drawing power from the dark dimension, and Mordo makes mention of it because at first he doesn't believe it, when Strange tells him that she's drawing power from the dark dimension, and but when he sees it, this right here is really what starts Mordo off in his own path, seeing like the one person who he trusted above all else,
the one person he had faith in, which he and Strange even spoke about earlier. All of a sudden broke down in front of him. Yeah. Like, oh, you weren't this embodiment of good?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah. And, she really doesn't have an answer, at least not right here at this point. But yeah, she does suffer a fatal mistake, and she technically falls to her soon-to-be death.
Through a damn glass, might I add.
And then she hits that ground with a thud. Like, damn.
Luke Cage even said...
So yeah, Ancient One, she's taken to the hospital, the very same hospital, of course. I guess that Christine is always there. So
yeah, she's never off the clock.
And
except for that one time she went to Strange's apartment.
That was it. No, even then she was on the clock. She just it was a lunch break. But no, it's during this point where Doctor Strange and the Ancient One have one last talk in astral form. And what you think about this talk here, Kevin? What'd you draw from this last talk they had?
Why did time slow down only now? Every other time we've seen astral form, time was always normal. When he slept, when he fought. So why now is all time all of a sudden lightning bolt is super damn slow?
My thought on that was, first of all, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
But my thought on that is the Ancient One just knows her shit. I mean, I don't see why. I mean, because she even says, "Look at me slowing down time just to enjoy this one final moment."
Okay. She did recognize, or she did give us recognition that it was her doing the action, not the fact that, oh, relax, Strange. It's only, time slows down in astral form.
Yeah,
like because she said something similar to that at the beginning.
Yeah, but then at the very end,
which you're contradicting yourself, babe. What's going on, Miss Ancient? But no, either way, the conversation here was very much. So you give up because you don't see yourself in the future. You don't see the imagery happening here, which I suppose, to someone who's lived such a monkish style of life, who has lived such a weirdly integral part of seeing and interpreting all potential futures, I guess this is literally the point where you would say, okay, I'm ready to flip my cards and I'm good, I'm off the bet, I'm out, I guess that would make sense in that type of realm, in that type of language, but to me, it's more like, okay, well, we could still really use your ass for this next part. Like, this is gonna get more difficult, and we could use you here,
Yeah.
So it's mixed feelings for me, but for what they did in the movie, it made sense for the progression of the story.
It did.
Yeah.
Because once again, this honestly, folks, this is me just trying to build more bridges here.
Okay, please do.
But I guess my thought here was, she realized that what she's doing, like I think, and once again, I am building bridges here, folks. So there's nothing to really back it up.
Right, coloring in between the panels.
Yeah, I think that just from her cadence and like the way that she was speaking, it almost seemed as if she realized she had made a mistake, like taking from the dark dimension. It wasn't the right call to make. Maybe she was taken from the dark dimension because she needed to be around to protect this realm, or maybe she was doing it because she was afraid to face her own mortality. And I think that maybe she realized that it could have been a little bit of the latter. And she did also reference that she hasn't seen Doctor Strange's future, just possibilities. Yeah. And I think that maybe in those possibilities, she saw Doctor Strange becoming the Sorcerer Supreme that maybe she could never be. And that in order for him to get there, this had to happen.
That's true. And that part she does talk about. And just re-highlighting, going back a step here to the earlier observation of yours, that's a very psychological and very good one, I would add. The realization of the potential of, okay, my blight has come to light. Not to rhyme on purpose or anything. But... yeah, I mean, now people are calling you out. Like, it's no secret no more, lady. You're a being of light made from dark.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that she would have loved to stay to fight, Caecilius and to help protect the realm. But I think she also knew that she could ultimately do more good by letting this happen.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, if she had stayed, would Doctor Strange have stepped up in that final act of courage? It's debatable that he wouldn't.
I mean, at this point, maybe it would have been herself who received the Eye of Agamotto, trying to use it. Maybe not in the same manner, because that was definitely original Stephen Strange thought process. But because it was him activating that Ex Machina. But no. I mean, it's a very astute point.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, the Ancient One, she does pass away, and at this point, Doctor Strange has one last pep talk with Mordo. It's more like if it's a video game, this isn't a permanent stat boost. This is just a temporary buff,
right?
Because after this fight, Mordo's out. But Yeah, so after the pep talk, they go to Hong Kong. Apparently, they should not have used so much time on this pep talk because Hong Kong is the shit now. Like, not the shit, but it is shit.
Let's go do the fight. Oh, we're too late.
Yeah, we're too late. It's over. Like, literally, the sanctuary is destroyed. Wong is dead. People are dying, and Caecilius is there.
Help me out here.
Yep.
When did he pick up the eye? When did he cling and put it on? Because I'm trying to remember when that happened.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it did. I mean, I can't recall the exact moment, but I'm thinking that it was either right before or right after the pep talk. Because I feel confident that I would have noticed if he didn't go get it, but I can't right now recall him getting it.
Sure, I can't either, and it's just like wait, saving grace, you know? Okay.
And a matter of fact, I think maybe I'm just implanting false memories, but I think I do recall him grabbing the I think I do recall him grabbing it and putting it on for a second time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thus completing the strange collection that we need. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And let's see. So he uses the Eye of Agamotto to reverse time and to try to fix things again, to reverse all the damage done to Hong Kong. But it's fun because like during this scene here where everything's being like reversed back to its normal state, he's also fighting Caecilius and his henchmen. So it makes for
which
really cool
apparently
scene.
Can also kind of like undo the spell.
Yeah.
And
I guess it kind of makes sense that they're given powers from Dormammu. So
true, they're buffed. Okay.
Yep.
I was just kind of wondering about that a little bit, but I've kind of like pseudo explained it myself personally.
Strange uses the E of A. I already said that. Listen, I'm not gonna write Eye of Agamotto every time.
You sure it wasn't the AOE?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, he goes to the dark dimension, and maybe he should have told the guys his plan first before he went off. You know, like whisper to Wong or Mordo, "Hey guys, listen. I'm gonna go off real quick. I got a plan. Just trust me." That alone, I think, would have been more comforting than peace.
Yeah, than what he did.
Yeah.
Which I think what he did was more of a testimony again to his personality because he's been brash. He's been, I got the answer. Thus, it's the right answer.
Yeah.
You know, without having a need to explain himself.
Right.
I think at this point though, were they looping too? They had to have been looping as well, right?
Them?
Yeah.
No, because they were in a different dimension. I don't think it applied.
Okay. Either way, it's cool with me. Like, if they were, cool. If they weren't, whatever, cool.
Yeah.
It's just a curiosity of mine. Like,
what were they doing while this was happening?
Yeah.
Well, I think that for Strange, he was only gone for a moment to them.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, because they relive the same scene as Strange kind of reappears.
Right.
But I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah. So he goes to the dark dimension and he confronts Dormammu in one of the most entertaining and unique scenes that I've seen in a Marvel movie yet.
Also, yes.
Yep. So first of all, did you expect to see Dormammu in this movie?
No. Not like this, at least.
No, I didn't expect to see Dormammu at all.
Right.
To be honest, I thought that there's going to be one big final confrontation with Caecilius, and then maybe like an Easter egg saying that Dormammu was going to come back or something.
Sure.
But I did not expect to see Dormammu himself in this movie. He is very big and angry.
Yeah, very different from comic Dormammu.
But I mean, like, this is, like I said in the theater, this is still better than Galactus from Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah. So, at least this astral projection had a face.
Yeah. They didn't even try with Galactus.
No, he was just a...
They were like, look, guys, we spent all of our money on Silver Surfer. We can't do Galactus.
just make a cool-ass looking nullifier and let's be done with it.
Yeah. But no, anyways, I thought this was really fun seeing here. Like, really, really unique. Because I'm not going to lie, at first in theater, I didn't know what Strange was doing. And then I see him seemingly die, and I'm like...
he just got blasted by freaking purple laser. Yeah,
I was quoting Quicksilver, like, I did not see that coming. What'd you think of this scene, though?
I loved it. Yeah, I really did. It was super creative. It was a fun, very Doctor Strange-esque way of dealing with the issue. It was very creative, very different from Marvel. You know, it was I can't overcome you because you're technically a type of demigod, but I'm gonna try my damnedest to trick you. Yeah, in a sense, to Loki you. You know, which he successfully did.
He did. Yeah. Now, I think Strange better be grateful that Dormammu doesn't have the patience of like a god. Right. Because if he did, then
then they would literally still be there years later to this day. Right. Doing the same old, okay, I haven't killed you with needles for a while, so we're going to do that. Yeah. You know what? This time, I'm going to pull you apart.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I think if Dormammu had taken his time with those deaths, maybe Doctor Strange would have been a little more, a little less willing to do that.
I've come to bargain. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired of this. Are you going to... Okay. I've come to bargain.
Like, because Dormammu gave him all quick deaths, and I think that was Dormammu's downfall. He needs to torture, then kill.
How to Be a Better Villain, a book by the Superhero Homies. We should write that.
Yeah. Oh man, but eventually Dormammu was like, "You son of a bitch." Yep.
Well, at first I loved it because it's like, "You've come to die." Wait. Yeah. What is this? What is this? What did you do?
Yeah. And also, of course, for those of you who may not be aware, Benedict Cumberbatch also did the work for Dormammu as well. So it's Benedict versus Benedict.
Yep. I knew that. I did not know that. Yeah. What? Yep. I gotta look that up in the credits.
I guess he likes that kind of work because he also did Smaug the Dragon, So I guess he likes that kind of,
Well, have you heard him do impersonations? He's damn good.
I can imagine.
He can do all kinds of things, you know? Yeah, so asking him to do an evil voice or a dragon voice. Yep. Yeah.
I have a note here that says, Dormammu is sick of your shit, Strange.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, Strange, he breaks the time loop so long as Dormammu, promises never to come back to this world. Surely that's got to backfire sometime in the future, right?
Sure.
Okay.
It was actually not Thanos in Infinity War, but Dormammu who went and killed everybody on the Kree planet.
Damn.
There it is. Yeah. I'm pissed at Earth. You must die.
Yep. And so Doctor Strange comes back, and my next note literally says, Caecilius dies, or something, I think. Because I'm not really sure.
Let's explain that a little more. Yeah.
I mean, that's the best I got right there.
I mean, he does dissolve in the purple ash, and it's like, what did you do? Well, I gave you what you wanted. Yeah. Eternal life.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, what does that mean?
In this case, it means purple death. Purple ashy death. Yeah. Which I guess he might have become a cosmic ghost of sense. Like, or maybe he became a greater part of Dormammu, where he's just like an embodiment inside or a part of the greater Dormammu space ghost.
Sure.
Coast to coast.
Yeah. So next, Mordo, he decides to leave the group because he's like, I ain't about this life no more.
Peace out. I hate all you magic users.
Yep. Yeah. And yeah. So yeah, he decides to leave the group just because he's like, he's still butthurt that the Ancient One, went to the Dark Dimension and drew power from it, essentially. And also Doctor Strange broke laws by using the Eye of Agamotto to warp reality back or to turn back time.
Which, how can you be mad at that?
Yeah. It's got to be there for something,
Yeah.
But
whatever. And
it's at this point where, because they do wait till the very end of the movie to confirm that the Eye of Agamotto is indeed an Infinity Stone. And the ending of the actual movie I thought was interesting. I'm not sure what to take of it. He takes out the Eye of Agamotto. He's in He's in the Sanctum Sanctorium.
Yep.
And
the New York one, right?
Yeah, the New York one. And then he looks at his hands, and of course they're still damaged. He never healed his hands.
Right.
What do you think the takeaway is from that?
I think at that point it was him, because the hands really were the resolve in the beginning. Like, I need my hands back to gain my life back. You know, they were symbolic of that nature. And I think at this point he was looking at his new hands, because the creation of his post-surgery hands was the beginning, the doorway, the stepping stone to becoming Sorcerer Supreme Strange, you know, Triple S. And I think at this point, seeing him do that, look at his hands, was a realization that, okay, this is who I am, and I'm okay with that, you know? So I think at that point, it was Marvel trying to, or I'm going in between the panels now, but I think it was Marvel trying to be symbolic and be more heavy.
Yeah.
You know, rather than flamboyant, here's what we're doing in this scene, here's a joke, by the way, and here's something cool.
Yeah, and maybe you're right. It's just, to me, it was a little jarring because, honestly, Marvel is usually a little more obvious with their what they're trying to do.
Yeah, they usually do a lead in of Captain America saying Avengers, and then credits, you know?
Yeah. Or, I mean, like, just the overall theme, because usually they're a little more obvious with it, you know? But with the hands, I mean, once again, we can, theorize.
Sure, and that's exactly what I did. Yeah, who knows what the hell they were thinking?
Right. Yeah. I just thought it was kind of, damn it, strange that they didn't. I hated to do that, guys, but I thought it was weird. Okay, that
there you go. Synonyms.
Yeah, that they didn't really, thoroughly explain the takeaway from this, but. Anyways, and also because that's where they end the movie right there.
Credits.
So the mid-credit scene is Strange and Thor. This is just a scene taken from Ragnarok.
Literally.
And in the theater, I was so excited about this scene because, like, Strange and Thor. Oh,
like, this is the first time we've seen Thor for quite some time. Since
Age of Ultron. Yeah.
Damn. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, we were super curious because, like, what's going on? Oh, shit, Odin's in trouble. They got to go find Odin.
Yeah.
There's a mug of refilling.
I know, right? The everlasting mug.
Yeah. But, and obviously, like, this takes place in current day. So Doctor Strange was way more comfortable with his powers, you could tell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you could tell that he was way more comic Stephen Strange rather than origin Stephen Strange. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like, who knows how much time passed between... him becoming Sorcerer Supreme versus this cutscene, it could have been.
It had to have been like 5 years, right? Because Justin Hammer, or the Iron Man 2 reference, that's 2011.
Mm-hmm. And then this came out 16, correct?
Yeah. Or is it 2010? Iron Man 2 came out 2010. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. No, it had to have been 2010. It was when I was in Cali. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, still, it's like 5, maybe 6 years.
Still, good chunk of time. Mm-hmm. Plenty of time for him to be more supreme of a sorcerer.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then, of course, the post-credit scene is more. This is the real meat for me, actually. Mordo, he goes to visit the formerly paraplegic man that likes to play basketball with a cool jump shot,
who's also a mechanic now.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And they have a talk here, and this guy knows something's up. Why is Mordo here? He's acting really weird. Mm-hmm. And Mordo, he takes like away the magic properties that's keeping that guy held together.
Yeah. Which, how did he do that? Was that just magic?
Yeah. That's my only thought. Is that Mordo, being, I guess, another really powerful sorcerer, maybe
he knew how to turn off the magic.
Yeah, I'm guessing he learned that, but he didn't just turn it off. He took it from him.
Right.
So I'm guessing he just learned how to do that. Yeah. And that's one thing I really enjoy is that, like, there's not just one type of magic. Like, there's various types of magic in this realm,
which is good.
Yeah. But his reasoning for doing it is, he says, too many sorcerers. Mm-hmm. Now, I really did like this post-credit scene. This right here was a really good one. I didn't understand or really care for the reasoning, because right now Mordo's his whole philosophy doesn't make a lot of sense. He's angry because he feels betrayed by the Ancient One. He feels like they're breaking too many laws. He feels like they're misusing magic. And so now his whole ordeal is to take away other people's magic because there's too many sorcerers.
Well, this is... let me put on my theorizing cap.
Yep.
It's on. Snug and tight. Get ready.
Yep.
Maybe in his own emotional deductions, because he is a man with a colored past, we've understood from the movie. They've hinted at it. They haven't explained it. Hopefully they will. But because of his understanding, maybe he has come to the thought process of, okay, these powerful sorcerers whom I've looked up to, these powerful sorcerers who've actually like surpassed in mystical arts, have all lied to me, essentially. They've all lied in general to get to where they were, you know. What with the Ancient One and the dark magic? What with our boy Stephen Strange and, you know, his stealing, using of the Eye of Agamotto? So at this point, he might deduce that anyone who is trying to use sorcery, this magic, this mystical art form, essentially has either the potential or has been a liar, a manipulator, someone who has wronged someone else to become such, you know? Someone who is inevitably going to lie or cheat or steal in order to make themselves better, to get gain, you know?
I thought about that too, but that's just really hypocritical.
Like, no, it really is, because you are using magic to kill magic.
Yeah, it's so hypocritical that like you can't ignore it.
Well, I mean... It's like when Frank Castle kills a killer. You know? I don't know, that's a bad example, because that's just poetic. Yeah. But no, you're right. There is a layer of hypocrisy there. But at the same time, I still see that as just the biggest tool in Mordo's tool bag to get his mission finished.
Yeah. Like, in the inevitable Doctor Strange sequel, what's going to be Mordo's reasoning for coming that strange?
He was probably one of his more close associates or actual friend to have lied or steal to make gain to get in his way of killing other sorcerers. Or I'll call back to the movie here to not have what it takes to be a sorcerer supreme because you're afraid to make the actions, the decisions, the end all thing here, you know, to kill, basically. You know?
I mean, maybe I'm just wondering how they're going to tie all this together.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I want to trust Marvel. Hopefully, Mordo will make a cool comeback and be a cool villain again. You know, that'd be awesome to see.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. This has been going on way too long here.
Have we passed the movie length yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's
what's your overall thoughts on this movie?
I still enjoyed it. You know, it was better than Ant-Man.
Yeah. I agree.
It wasn't my favorite Marvel movie. It didn't stand out to me in the sense of, oh man, remember that scene? You know,
I agree.
Watching it was almost like watching it anew, where like I kind of remembered the movie as I'm watching. Like, oh yeah, that's right, they did have Wi-Fi, didn't they? Overall, I'd give the movie a good strong like 7.8, even 8 out of 10.
Well, that's why I gave it a 7.8.
What? Give me some love, man. Give it a high five.
Yeah.
We actually slapped 5. Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, very rarely do we have like the exact same score.
I know, right?
But yeah.
You're always higher. Yeah. I'm always higher. No, for the past few movies, I've been lower.
Yeah.
I've been lower.
Right.
But yeah, no, I did enjoy this movie. You know.
So did I. Once again, I thought that it was still a really good movie. Like you said, there's not a whole lot of like super major complaints. You know what I mean?
Right. Like there was no Zemo. There was no Iron Man 3 entirety.
Right. There was no Age of Ultron plot. I mean, like it's like you said though. They didn't do. I don't think they did anything necessarily wrong here. They once again had a villain that fell flat.
Classic Marvel.
Yep. And they also didn't have anything, like I said, that really stood out.
Yeah.
Like it didn't do anything that was super grandiose. That they didn't do anything that was above and beyond. That was a super spectacle. The visuals were a spectacle, and they were like a visual feast. But like in the concept or the confines of the movie as a whole, it didn't really do anything that was just like that left you awestruck.
Right.
You know,
it was a Marvel origin movie.
It's like they went around the boundaries of their normal confines, but they still didn't leave their typical confines.
Like they still went in the same shape.
Right. Yeah, it's like they stayed in the yard, but they just traveled around on like the outskirts of the yard.
Yeah. And you know what? They literally did, because again, we've said it before. I don't think we've said it yet tonight. This was literally another movie where it was an origin of a superhero who's fighting someone exactly like himself.
Yeah,
it
was. Yeah, because it's true.
Suit to suit, magic to magic. I mean, what else has happened? Super soldier to super soldier.
Yeah. I mean, there's tons of examples.
Oh yeah.
But with that being said, is Doctor Strange still a really fun movie? Yeah. Like pretty much every Marvel movie except for Iron Man 3 was a really fun movie. I mean, it had a lot going for it, and I still really enjoyed it. But yeah, so I think that's going to be it for tonight, folks. Yep. Once again, we did really like the movie, and hopefully you guys did too. So this Sunday we're going to be doing our Jessica Jones season 2 part 2 review. We're going to be finishing up the season by covering episodes 7 through 13, and giving our final analysis on the movie. And of course, next Wednesday we're going to be covering Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Yep. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a preemptive warning. If that's your favorite movie,
why?
We need to make a promise here and now, Kevin, that we will not unnecessarily shit all over this.
I make no promises.
Damn it, Kevin.
Okay, I will. Okay, because you had such detailed wording, I will give you such a detailed response.
Okay.
I do promise to not unnecessarily shit on this movie. I will only necessarily shit on this movie.
We're going to keep our shitting to a minimum. I know I said we were going to do the same thing with Civil War, and then we ended up still shitting on it.
Nope. I'm putting laxatives in our talk, man. We're going to be all over the place, all over this room with it.
We're going to try to give more positive focus to the good things about the movie.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. There is positive in this movie, and there are a few things I really liked about Guardians, too. Yeah. But there's quite a few things which do deserve the wagging finger, the wait a minute,
wait a second.
Yeah. Let's rip this apart.
Yeah. Well, the good news is 2 weeks from now, we got Homecoming, so...
Yeah. Also, yes.
Yep. Yeah. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for now. As always, guys, if you like what you hear, then and you do, please hit that subscribe button. And also, if you feel so inclined, feel free to leave us a review on iTunes. That really helps us out. And as always, guys, if you have any kind of questions, comments, gifts, threats, food, supplies, luggage, or artifacts, relics, then you can hit us up at...
Yes, relics.
Yeah. superherohomies@gmail.com or the Facebook page, Superhero Homies. And as always, guys, my name is Quentin.
I'm Kevin.
See you next time.